All right, YouTube, what's going on? This is your boy Liger, one half of N Duo, and of course, this is basically going to be gamers talk. I'm just talking. We talking games, communities, consoles, hardware sales, anything we talk about that we could have a discussion about. And basically, I have some King Grimpachi on with me to talk about some of the things. He's gonna talk. We're gonna talk some stuff mostly Nintendo, but the topic could go anywhere really and talk about the communities because I don't disagree with him with some of his stuff saying about the communities is getting stupider and the hypocrites are just coming out of the woodrows nowadays from all consoles. But they, will just go with certain things and see where this topic leads us to go. So what's going on, King?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on, and I'm ready to. I guess I'm ready to rumble. I don't know.
Yeah, for anybody out there who's gonna who's listening to this, and what's going on, like I said, we're gonna have a discussion about certain things, and we're not Shadow Fox Infinite and all that stuff for the damn debate and everything like that. We're just gonna. I think some questions I have for King because he's of his videos, and of course that I could answer some of them, and some of them I maybe can't. I'm not like most YouTubers. I'm proud to say if I don't know nothing, I don't know nothing. I know that's a hard thing in YouTube that people just have to have this matter of fact that you said it so straight, but then you don't back it up, but then you don't want to back down if somebody proves you wrong. And,
yeah.
And I've seen in your videos that you said, hey, prove this and do that. And it's, I understand where you're coming off with some of your videos. So, so this conversation should be cordial. I don't think because King is a laid back person, and I'm basically to a degree too. I'm people know me as a nonchalant person. Don't give a damn. I have a passion in the game, but technically speaking, I don't give a damn. Yeah. So I'll start it off, King. And maybe you asked a question, and maybe you could elaborate more about this. You asked a question with the PC thing. I'm sorry for that. We talk about PC has no exclusives. What's your definition before I say anything about that, so I know that where you're coming from 100%? Because there are games that are on PC, basically, and if that's not on a console game, and if they're gonna use that term that you have said it yourself, like. It's a console exclusive, but it's on PC. And if they're using it in that way, okay. But I want to make sure where you're coming from with that.
When I talk about a game being exclusive, it means it's only in one place. It's only on one platform. I thought a little bit deeper about it because one of my favorite fighting series is Tekken, and for the longest, Tekken would only be on PlayStation, but it also be an arcade. So could I say that's exclusive? I'm not sure. I would still technically say no. Like when I think of exclusive, I think of something I can only buy, I can only get on one platform. So that's why I said the PC has no exclusive, because every game that's on PC could be played on a console. Every last game. So
there are. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say a lot of PC gamers would agree. Like that's why I brought up the whole console exclusive thing. PC guys would say console exclusives don't exist because they're on PC. They'll say the game is just a multi-platter on multiple machines, which I will agree with 100%. But go ahead and ask me what you're gonna ask.
No, also so games like where some people will bring up, and I saw this in your comment section. So I'm bringing up like like Dota and League of Legends and all that stuff. Because you mean do that because some of them have the mobile apps, or
why would they bring those up like as exclusives?
Yeah, no, they brought them up as exclusive, and you was talking. I saw your comment section where you're like, okay, well that's not exclusive and stuff like that because they have outside like a second experience with some of those PC games. Like I said, some are on mobile.
Yeah, some are on mobile, but
they're not on other consoles, but they're on an iPad or in Apple iStore or Google Play. Does that's what I'm trying to make sure of.
Oh yeah, those wouldn't be exclusive, but they're also like I said, they're also on console like Dota. I'm not sure if it's on mobile, but I know a lot of those mobile games do have mobile versions. I'm not sure about Dota, but The reason I'm saying it's not exclusive is because it's on the Alienware Alpha. The Alienware Alpha is a console. It's marketed sold as a console. The Alienware Alpha plays computer games, and you know that's where the discussion came in. And the reason I even thought of that is because when I would have certain discussions with console gamers, and I say console exclusives don't exist, and I would say that because not only because it's on PC, but if you want to say, oh, it don't count because the PC is not a console, and that's why you're calling it a console exclusive. I said, well, then it's on the Alienware Alpha, which is a console. So that means you're still, even if I use their logic, the console gamers' logic, it still don't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's where I was like, well, then that means PC has no exclusive because every last game that can be played on a computer can be played on this console.
Okay. And you talking, and here's what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go your route of being analytical. Which is like all the games that are like, how should I say, like the really are casual games that don't have like a chess game that was just made in a fancy way to have like some characters that work on a PC but never was released on mobile. Or if you take the Alienware concept out of it, because you're right about if you're going with the marketing that the Alienware is a console because they try to streamline the experience for PC. And that's what they did, the advertisement for that. Stuff like that. Would that not consider exclusive or not?
Well, if you took the Alienware Alpha out the equation, right? As far as I know, as of right now, even other small streamlined boxes, they're still considered desktops, or they're considered compute, like the Steam machine. A lot of those, they don't call themselves consoles; they call themselves computers. So if I were to take the Alpha out of the equation, because I'm not really aware of any other device that's calling itself a console, then I would say that, yes, some games are exclusive because a lot of them, some of them actually are on console, and some of them are actually on mobile, like we already discussed. So, yeah, like what's a game, like just using Dota as an example. Not sure if it's on mobile, but I'm pretty sure Dota would be exclusive if you took the Alpha out the conversation.
Oh, you know what? I go back here for that. Like Shantae's not Pirate Curse. The second Shantae is a console exclusive that is only on Nintendo, but of course it's on the Apple iStore, so it could be played on mobile.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I think, I don't know which one, because I think one of the Shantaes went to PlayStation. I think so. I'm not sure which one that would be. I think this, unless Pirate's Curse has not been. I think Pirate's Curse still is that, but I'm talking about not the series. I'm just talking about a game. Like I was just giving you an example of what you just said. Like if a game was on, like for me, right? If a game was on the Wii U and it was also on like mobile or PC, I would still say it's not. That's me though. A lot of people will say, well, it's only on one console, so but I don't think because to me it just sounds like it's like. The argument out here, and I don't know if you know this guy, Base Video. He's a pretty cool dude. Like he made a video. He made a video talking about it. And he said, well, what if the reason console exclusive is brought up and used is because what if you don't care about PC gaming or mobile gaming? And I scratched my head because I'm like, okay, well, what if you're a PC gamer that don't care about console gaming? Does that mean like if someone said, for example, Mercenary Kings, that's a game on PlayStation 4 and PC? The Sony dudes will say it's a console exclusive. So that means if I'm talking to a PC gamer and they want to know about PC exclusives and they don't care about consoles, should I tell them that's a PC exclusive? That wouldn't make any sense. It'll be complicated because what's the difference between an actual PC exclusive and a game they just don't care about if it's on console or not? So you call it exclusive anyway. It's very odd. So it just, that's why I think it's too complicated to even make up these terms. So.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from, and like I said, that's why I'm glad to have you here, so I could get the matter of fact of where we're coming from, because sometimes we, like I'll give an example now, like next question that we've gone back and forth on one of them, which was the whole preferred thing that we did. we went back and forth on that one, and again, that's the next one because of how people use the words. And you pulled out the Webster Dictionary on me. I was like, okay, I understand that, but again, you still like it's still the word. It has liking in it that you preferred it. You want to. That's what your experience is of that game that you want to go do it again. You want to buy that game again.
Yeah.
And that's where I was coming from. So I don't think we talked past each other, but we did went a little back and forth on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was really just a misunderstanding because you were saying I prefer something, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, I think we were talking about Fallout, right?
Yeah, I told you about Fallout because you're gonna buy. But you basically have you bought it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to come out, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you pre-order it? Oh, I mean, I didn't know what the release date is. Sorry, I did not know what the release date is. So that's why I say that. I've seen people talk about it so much now.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, coming out Tuesday.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna get it. I said that because you had a good experience with the last couple of games. You preferred that game over something else because you had a good experience with the last game. That's where my point was coming from. I prefer this game because I had a good experience with that game.
Yeah.
And it's innate into us. It's human beings. It's not something that we could turn off. That's why I was saying in that regards. You had Fallout 2, 3. You enjoy. Or I don't know. Have you played all of them, or you did 3? The 3 was
the original top down isometric ones. I'm getting into those, but I played basically 3 New Vegas, and now I'm gonna play 4. So I played the recent ones.
Okay, and then you had good experience with them.
Yes.
And so so if I give you another game, you're gonna prefer if you're gonna take your money, which of course that's the next argument. Not you, but most gamers have on this community, which is ticking me off. You have your money that you work hard for. Why would you? And you prefer something? Why don't you prefer it, and be happy because that's what you bought with your own money. Nobody should say anything about what you bought with your money.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should try to dictate what you buy with your money. It's no different than when I hear people say people need to stop buying stuff for PS3 and 360, and I'm like, well, obviously they're either buying it because they want it. Let's be real. Like, there are people that are in certain situations where they can't afford stuff, but I mean, if you think logically about stuff, let's say you can't afford to get something, if you save your money and nothing comes up or you have to use it, then you can get whatever you can't really afford to just buy immediately. So, it's all about what you want and what you prefer to do. So, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, but you're right, and that's what I was saying. To that regard, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I got a question about that, but to go back to the preferred thing, that's where we're coming from. As you said, in many videos, because from since Timeout showed you out on his video and the video, kind of like last year, I like sub to you and listen to your videos and see what you talk about at the time. And if I have to be honest, and we talked about it at the beginning, sometimes you come off as an a-hole. But I understand most of the time where you come from because of your character, of that's who you are. You don't mean to be it, but it's because I see you as an analytic person. I see that you're like, okay, if I'm going to put logic or I'm going to put practicality to something, what you guys are saying is not based in reality, or it's just crap, or it's just where's your facts to back it up. And that's what you are. So when we did the whole preference thing, like I said, we've been back and forth, and like I said, we went back for a little bit, but I think we talked past each other. I think a little bit, and then we're like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, because some of the things you said in your videos too, you're like, okay, the Nintendo fans, and I'm not one of those stupid people to say, okay, when you say Nintendo fans, I know you're not talking about all of us. But yes, some people just can't. Their butt can't let it go.
Yeah, they can't. They can't understand that. If a hit dog will holler, basically. If I'm not referring to you, then I'm not talking about you. If I'm not talking about, if I say people are doing this or somebody's doing that, if you're not doing those things, then it shouldn't really affect you.
No, and you see, I don't know if you. I mean, sometimes you reply to my comments. Sometimes which I understand. We both of us are busy people. But most of the time when you talk about that stuff, I just put LOL because it is funny. I'm like, I know he's not talking about me, and I'm like, it is. I see it, and I laugh at the same crap that you see and that you brought up.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens a lot. I mean, I've just grown to I don't know if people know. Some people have noticed that. Like, I just write on my channel. Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting my channel. Like, I just keep it moving.
Yeah. I understand that. So okay, so let's talk about some of the hypocrisy that we've seen in the Nintendo community. I think you might agree with me. Some of you might not. I don't know. Let's see. Let's talk about some hypocrisy. Now, there are hypocrisy in all consoles, and you're one of those persons that first started at, I gave you the joke when you first joined the first podcast you joined me. I said, good luck with that, because that's going to be hard to stop. Human nature is going to be, when you're anonymous, and we are anonymous, but when you're anonymous and you could say a bunch of crap and you could still do certain things, people are not going to back down.
Yeah.
They just ain't. So the hypocrisy I've seen that you agreed upon, it's basically one. Let's talk about the NX. You have a video talking about, this question has multi-parts to hell. One, we're talking about some of these guys who bashed the PlayStation and PlayStation 4 and the game and the Vita because of we don't have the clamshell, or that's stupid, or for the console games and some of the stuff. And I could tweak a little bit of understand why people say certain things because to the Vita to it. But I mean, as you've been on my podcast too, I'm not bashing Vita. I don't have nothing against that console. It's a good console. I also has a lot of good exclusive, but people don't want to freaking buy the thing, which is messed up. But I'm with you that so the same people who say that stuff are the same people who say, this would be great for this fusion system that they have in their mind.
Yeah, I was laughing at that because I mean, like you already really explained. I mean, I'm hearing Nintendo guys say, and I heard this since the PSP era, so it's not the first time I've heard it from Nintendo guys saying, why would you want to play console experiences on the go? Basically saying like, you got this big game or this console-like game, like it's a mobile thing, which people play on the go. Which I mean, what people don't understand is, ever since mobile was out, like mobile gaming, how many people are really playing their mobile games on it? I mean, people play, like kids play in the passenger or back seat, right?
Yes.
You may play on the bus, but let's be real. In this day and age, you ain't pulling out nothing expensive on no bus. Unless you want to get robbed or you want to get in a fight. Depending on where you are. Yeah, depending on where you are. You ain't walking. You're not walking with your Vita, your 3DS just in your hand, walking forward. You bump into a trash can. You're not. No one's really doing that. But besides,
I didn't cut you off there. I'm gonna say because you ain't walking down Martin Luther King Boulevard.
You're walking no matter where you live.
iPad or 3DS.
Yeah, no matter where you live, any place called Martin Luther King, anything. You're not walking down that street with something expensive in your hand. It's not walking.
Exactly.
So, and I remember with the PSP, I used to make the argument because I had a DS and a PSP, and I was like, well, the DS. I play games in there that I would consider long. Like I played the hell out of Mario 64. That was a console game in the palm of my hands, but no one made the argument saying that was a problem. That console game, and they didn't streamline it for mobile. They didn't. It's the same crap. It had extra levels and stuff. You just close the DS and it was a wrap, and it turned off. The Vita, the PSP, you put it on hold, and then it turn off, and it'd be fine. So. But you hear these guys say they don't want console experiences on the go, but now they're hoping and they're saying, I hope the Fusion you could play. Imagine playing Xenoblade, in the palm of your hand. That's another hypocrisy. No one who was complaining that Xenoblade came to 3DS. No one said, who wants to play a long RPG on the go? Nobody was saying that. But that's because they like Nintendo, and they're not going to see that. But that's fine. I understand that. But when I pointed out, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying when I pointed out. I just don't get if someone points something out to me, right? Mm-hmm. And I know some people just don't like to admit stuff, but this is to me is gaming, and although it's a passion, it's not that serious. When you point something out to people and they just can't see that they're doing what you're saying, and they just can't understand, like it's kind of seems like they're being delusional. I can't. Mm-hmm. I don't know I don't know how to explain, or I can't fix that. I like to just point it out.
Go ahead. Sorry, it's just funny the way you said it, but go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, yeah. And like I said, that's a hypocrisy that again, it's an idea, but because it comes to your console choice, now you change for it. That's basically what you're trying to point out. You ask on the other company for doing it. No, now Nintendo might do it a different way. That makes it more easy to control, blah, blah, blah. Because we're going off on an idea. We don't know what it is. But let's just say they took the time to make it a little bit more better and implement it more better. Just like the PlayStation 4 controller has been implemented from PlayStation 1 to get better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
If they did that, Now that it's come over, now you the same person has jumped the fence, and now because it's come to your console of choice, now you're cheering. And I agree with you with that. That's a crazy thing. That's a thing that bugs me. That like, why would you do? Why is now because on your console of choice you're making this argument? It's not. It's basically nonsense because you have somebody else that did it. If it implemented bad or good, okay, but now it's on your console and it could be implemented just the same way as Vita, but you're basically now changing your tunes.
Hey, look, I don't know. I don't
That's
know why they're doing it.
That's the fanboyism in it. I'm not gonna deny it.
Yeah, I just don't know why they, why they do that. I mean, like I can understand if they're not even, because some people do stuff they're not aware that, like, they're doing this stuff. And when you point it out, some people say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I should watch myself. Or some people just they ignore it and they just say, nah, it's different. It really isn't. Like you said, it is an idea. We don't know what it is. The fusion thing, we don't know what it's going to be. We don't know if that's going to happen. That could just be something on the drawing board and it'll happen later. Who knows? Because Nintendo normally, if they don't use something now, they use it later. So, yeah. But my thing, regardless of how it's used, I look at it like this. You could use the 3DS as an example. Any game that's on the 3DS that isn't really like for the mobile, like Xenoblade is a perfect example. That game was not made for a mobile device. It was ported to the 3DS, and they didn't do any compromises to make it more suitable for the handheld experience. And I hear nobody saying that was a dumb idea and it made no sense, because why would you want to play a long, like Xenoblade? You can get like 300 hours in Xenoblade if you want to. Yes. Why would you put a long game like that in the palm of your hands? No, everybody was like, oh, Xenoblade on the 3DS, that's cool. Now I don't have to buy this $80 Wii version. I could just buy the $40 3DS version. Like
that is weird.
It is.
That is weird. And the next thing that killed me is like, I'll tell you 100% truth. I play most of my longest RPG games on the handheld.
I do too. I play a lot of long games on the handheld. I put a lot of more time on the handheld a lot of times because it's more convenient.
No, and that's basically is for the convenience. But like Tales of Abyss, Fire Emblem Awaken. I mean, I got 300 hours in that game. Like those games. So that right there, as you pointed out, that blows up the argument.
It does. I mean, one of the longest lasting RPGs, which started on the handheld, and there are some console releases, but it's a Nintendo game. I don't hear anyone. You could put hundreds of hours in Pokemon. I mean, no one complains, and especially when it first came out. Your battery died, you were screwed anyway. Like, it's all you start putting the pieces together in the picture, and you start kind of like explaining. I have to explain so deep sometimes to get people to. I'm not saying anyone has to agree with me, but when people say I don't understand you, I understand why you're saying it. I have to explain so deep sometimes, and then finally it clicks like, oh, I get what you're saying now. But sometimes it's like, man, like I kind of said that like 20 minutes ago. You just now, it's not like what I just said is any different,
Let me point this out. Then to your videos, you're right, and you have a third part too. I don't point this out to you because it's your channel. You do what you have to do. I don't dictate people's channels. That's just not my thing. People go to your channel to listen to what your opinions and what you have to say. If they don't like it, don't watch it. Which is.
Nah, if they don't like it, they watch it more. That's really what it comes down.
Well, sorry, that concept puzzles me. If I don't like something, turn the radio, turn the TV off. I mean, that's what I do. So I don't know, but in some cases, I see what you're lurking to, but you sometimes dig yourself in a certain hole that it's like, that you said it, but then you contradict yourself a little bit there with this and say that. No, I can say it's not a big contradiction. It's not a big thing. Sometimes we talk ourselves into a rabbit hole. Sometimes,
yeah,
I've done it myself too. I'm not even gonna deny that.
Yeah, that happened. I mean, like, see, people think I'm like above being a human being and I don't make mistakes. No, I do, and I correct them if I do. That's why I tell people, if I'm wrong about this video, not my opinion, because you think I'm wrong about my opinion. That's that's something that can't really be argued. Nor will I argue
Thank
somebody
you.
else about their opinion. But if I'm telling you I'm saying a fact or whatever, if I'm wrong, you prove me wrong, that's fine. I just make a video or I say my bad, I messed up, and give the right information because I don't want to put out misinformation. So it's not a big deal if I messed up.
And that's but that goes into the ego of, like I just said about the whole YouTube, that because you're people don't know who you really like, who you really is or whatever, they just have the arrogance of saying, okay, you can't prove me wrong. It bolsters their the bravado, and just like, yeah, I'm not this person, whatever. So okay, so so that's part of that question with diffusion. Next question is, and I agree with you with this. And anybody who's this, like I said, this is basically an earlier start than I usually do, but because I know sometimes everybody has a weird schedule. So I didn't know if your schedule to work for it or not, because we tried it in the past and it just, the schedule didn't work out.
Yeah.
So right now, so anybody who's listening in the future, this question right here is something that I agree with King with, and I'm going to break it down more. Now, on that video, you said that it will be stupid for Nintendo to release the NX next year, because you asked us, you said all the Nintendo fans, and in that regards, I can't answer that question because I'm one who said it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one who said this. You said the Wii U is making all this profit, so why would you let Nintendo? Why would you be arguing for Nintendo to make an X console next year?
Yes, and to understand the context, right? Anybody knows me, I don't follow sales, right? I really don't. But when I'm hearing from the fan base, because I do listen to a lot of people in the Nintendo community and the Sony community, not so much Xbox, but no, it's just I really don't know too many to listen to other than the obvious people like Zaire or something. But
I got you. It just sounds weird the way you said it. Again, it's the way you say stuff that comes off like that, dude.
Yeah. Like when it comes to like when I'm hearing Nintendo gamers saying Nintendo's making so much money off of Amiibo and off of the Wii U and the 3DS, and actually this is a great contradiction for myself, right? Mm-hmm. Because see, I forget sometimes, just like anybody else, when you're listening to this, for lack of better words, when you keep hearing this stuff over and over and over, it does kind of get like propaganda. So I'm hearing this over and over, so it kind of becomes like I'm thinking to myself, all right, these guys really like Nintendo. They've been known to be Nintendo channels and support Nintendo, so I don't see why they would lie and say that they're making profits. I mean, I just don't see the point of that. So I believe it, right? Just like anybody else would. Mm-hmm. But I remember having a discussion with another Nintendo gamer, and he was telling me about why the Wii U during the holiday season couldn't drop the price, and he was like, they wouldn't make any money. And I questioned, well, why wouldn't they? He really wasn't telling me why, and I was like, you know what?
We'll keep going. I can answer that question for you.
But it really dawned on me. I really asked myself, I said, wait a minute. How do you know what they will and won't make? Because Nintendo, out of all the companies, is the most secretive. Do they just tell people how much money they make and how much, I know companies put out a statement, but I'm saying, like, do they tell you how much it costs to make this console and, and how much it goes for and how much, profit they make off? I don't, that's not some common information. And when I was asking for the information, not saying that person was wrong, I just was like, show me where you got this from. He said, well, this is common knowledge. Obviously, it's not common. It's not common because I looked it up before I asked you. Where is it? Because I couldn't find it, and that's a kind of contradiction to myself. Because I mean, if I was thinking that way when I talked about the profits, I could have really asked myself, well, how honest are the Nintendo guys? How much do they really know? Because they're telling me they're making so much money. I mean, they may not be, but I don't think that's just some common information for anybody, average Joe Blow, to Google search. It's not.
Okay. So I'll answer that question and then I asked the other one before. If you still want to know the answer about the whole price drop thing, if you want to.
Yeah.
You want to answer to that one back then too as well?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Now, for anybody, like I say, I mean, I think by now you understand what my connections and all that stuff is. I know, like I said, I'm just a small person on YouTube. I came on here just to chit chat, talk about games, blah blah blah. Now, I do work in the industry, and I do get privy to a lot of stuff because of my company's ties and everything that I do. Now, to the point to what you just said right there, it's not Google searched as you just said. It ain't gonna pop up. Yeah, this is what it makes. This is what it is. It basically is, and I think you've seen. I don't know if you heard me say it many times, but just in case not, I always say I have provided the links to the IR pages of all 3 consoles.
Okay.
I provided links for all 3 consoles. If you want them, I could give them to you too. And the problem is you gotta read a lot. and you know, it goes back to your series. Gamers don't read.
Yeah.
You have to read a lot, because what happens is when you go to the IR page, they put up the highlights, which is the common stuff that might pop up in Google search. But if you click on the PDF, it gets pages and pages, and that's up to you to read that stuff. I do that as a business guy because I have done contract work with Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo.
Okay.
So I want to know certain things so I could make money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even deny it. I'm doing this for money making. You know, I love the games, but I'm going to do it for money making. So that's why as a business person, I could say, you know, when people say, oh man, Xbox is, and anybody, and I've said that on my channel many times, I don't care. I don't bash the other consoles. I would call out certain games as trash, as you doing right now with this shit or not shit game.
Yeah.
series, which is the next question I'll ask you about later on. But I've never bashed it because what I don't like, somebody else likes. So yeah. I don't argue that point with people. And I think the PlayStation is comfortable for what it is. Xbox the same way, PC the same way, Vita, blah, blah, blah. So I don't bash the console. I go for the games and maybe a little bit of the management thing. So, but to go into the point of what you just said, Nintendo, when they have the IR page, when you go to there, they have, like I said, reams of it, the PDFs. You can find out Nintendo releases the cost of their stuff in the IR pages with the annual releases in 2012.
Okay.
Sony right now, because of what they're doing with the restructuring, and this is behind the curtains, but a little too much talking where we don't need to be going in a way.
Yeah.
But like Sony, because of how they're losing businesses and stuff, they put stuff behind walls so they could not mess with the investors, because investors still have to get that stuff. But to get potential investors into the company, they give you the highlights so investors be like, oh, they're selling this, and they jump in without reading what's going on. So like when Sony did with the computer, and they buy Nokia and they put it with Ericsson as one company when Ericsson was losing a lot of money, which is the cell phone division. They do tricks like that. So stuff like that is hard to read. You got to really read between the lines, and that's, some people could get it, some people not. And I would never fault nobody for not gaining in that regard, because that's just corporate manipulation. Yeah. But now going to what you said with the last year, I have a video about this too. It's somebody asked that question. I have a video about this. The reason why. And I think, and this one is common if you go to all IR pages of all the companies. And I think in my video, what WTF4, I put down Sony, Capcom, Sega, Microsoft, Square. I put on all IR pages of those companies. So I went through them. EA, I went to EA as well too. So, you know, Ubisoft. So I give people the information, the place to go. And again, you have to read. I'm not gonna give you the. In some cases, if I gotta really prove my point, if people are really attacking most of the cases, and some basically backs off a lot of time, then I'll go and do it and put it for them. But if you want to be this knowledgeable gamer, as most of these people say they are, just read it. Go there, click it, read it. If you have time, just do it. You might find some interesting things about some of these consoles or companies, or how some games are going through development, because they do list it in the IR pages. Because again, it's by law, it has to be out for investors. It's a law. So, but last year, basically all companies was going through reconstruction. Okay. All Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Sega, Capcom, EA, in a weird way. They made money, and they made money in the most despicable way, in my regards. Because they made almost $1 billion, $900 million off of DLC and microtransactions. That's straight. That's not considering the game. That's just straight microtransactions and DLC.
Microtransactions are gonna be here to stay, people.
Yeah, that's the sad part about it, because, and we could talk about that too. That part right there. If you King, this is a simple question to ask you. If you are an investor and you saw that, would you not say keep doing more?
Of course I say keep doing more.
And I don't want to, so that's so right now that's what a lot of third parties are doing. But again, I'll digress to talk about that a little bit more. But all those companies was reconstruction, because remember, EA lost shut down Maximus. And they shut down a couple. They shut down a couple of studios. Not at the top of mind, I can't remember. I know Maximus was the big one because everybody knows Maximus for the Sims games. And Sega laid off people. Capcom laid off people. A lot of game developers laid off a lot of people last year so they could stay afloat, because cost of making games, and you said it in your video, is getting expensive. Because now everybody's going with the graphic intensity of most games now. Technically, that is the driving factor of this generation right now. That's my opinion. So you might disagree, but that's my opinion.
No, the games are getting expensive because of the visuals, and they're trying to give you the best visuals possible and give you a gigantic world at the same time, and all this content. Yeah, that takes a lot of money.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of money, which gamers I have a video on my channel called Dear Gamers, talking from the developer side, but it takes a lot of money. One, also it takes a lot of time, but we are gamers nowadays have come impatient.
Yes.
And we just can't wait, whatever. I mean, again, my best example, of course, is Batman Arkham, and you pointed out on your channel, Batman Arkham Knights, Batman Arkham Oranges was a piece of garbage when it came out last time on PC. So why would you pre-order the next one and think that's going to be great? Yeah, you could have waited. Which I'm going to buy the game, but I ain't buying it unless it's fixed.
It still ain't fixed. So
I know, and that's why I bought it. I can wait. I'm not one of those trendy gamers who be like, oh man, you playing Batman Arkham Knights 3 years later than it is. Shit, it's fixed now. Hell, why not? And it's cheaper now. Frig. Yeah. But to continue, go back to let me stop tangent off. So all that stuff everybody's restructuring. What happened with Nintendo is most of Nintendo, I'm giving it approximate. It's not 100% guarantee. It's approximate. Most of Nintendo makes their profit, and Sony. That's also too, because of the strength of the market with the yen to dollar. And at that time, last year, what I say they should have never dropped the price, because the market was not stable. Because, I mean, you know what's going on with Greece? I'm just asking a question. I don't know. If you don't know, it's cool. I'm just asking. You know what's going on in Greece? Nah. Okay, so Greece is part of the European market. They're defaulting on their money. And if they collapse, they could bring a lot of other people down. A market crash, which of course would make the dollar drop, the yen go up, and people lose their money. Most of the time when Nintendo loses money is because of the market. Because the yen's higher due to the US dollar, and they don't balance off the cost. So if Nintendo dropped the console price, the Wii U, because now as a businessman, I'm talking as a businessman, I know gamers, it'll be good benefit these gamers. I'm talking as a businessman now. I'm making profits now on my console. If I drop it to $50 in a different currency, and then the market tanks or goes to a nasty flux, that $200-300 yen in that $50 could turn out to be $500-600 yen in my profit, and take a big chunk out of it for each console that's selling. I'm not gonna risk making a profit now just to drop the price to take a bigger risk later on. That's just business talk. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm not trying to as you said, propaganda anybody.
No, I mean, it really just wasn't, because when someone's it's no different than when people do user reviews. I know my shit reviews, they're supposed to be very simplistic reviews. That's why when I do, I'm not a professional reviewer. That's why when I do a review, it's typically really long, because I don't know how to condense what I want to say, because it's a lot I want to say.
Yes. So I agree with you with that.
So when people are like, what is it? They just can't make. They're not going to make any money, and I'm like, well, why? They're just not going to make. It's like, that's not an answer. You just keep telling me they're not. I don't know why though. I don't understand. Because I was saying, because in a lot of people's eyes, they look at it like this, right? This is just a consumer standpoint. If the Xbox One and PS4 are $350, the Wii U's $300. A lot of people in their eyes may deem the other consoles more valuable. the Wii U would look a little bit more valuable if it was $50 less than what it was, or maybe $100. I mean, I don't think it should be 200. 250 would be nice or whatever. Maybe 250 with just giving you like a very base model, maybe like a what is it? What's the game? Nintendo Land or something. I could see. I'm not saying they got to give you a $250 model and it gives you Splatoon and Mario Kart. You know, if they want to do that, that's nice. But
they're doing it right now, technically speaking. But go ahead.
Okay. You know, so that's just how the consumer's looking at it. But when people are on YouTube and they say they're all in the industry and stuff, and they're just saying stuff, and you don't know why. You ask a question why, and they can't tell you. You know, it's just like, you know, you start to sit back and say, well, how can I trust? You can't explain. I can't trust it. You know, that's just how it is.
Okay, and I hopefully, and like I said, it's not to you. It's just like when I started my channel, I didn't just, I mean, when I say I have connections and stuff, I understand that. And some people are like, okay, you just like a regular YouTuber that says that and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I've said many times, I could, in most cases, I've not been wrong, but I can be wrong. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying that at all. Because you might know something that I don't know. I'm not in Microsoft Office 24/7, PlayStation or Nintendo.
Yeah,
I just got privy to go to these places once in a while and check out stuff. Because one of the arguments was when a guy was like, "Well, why you didn't know about Pikmin 4 and blah blah blah?" When I went to Nintendo, I'm like, "Do you see that? Google the Nintendo EAD office. That's a big ass building." I walked around. I had 5 hours in that building. I couldn't walk around every studio in 5 hours, and that's included. I had to take lunch. No, so I didn't get every information. Boo-hoo for you that's not what I was looking for. But I'm sorry. So, but again, into what you just said, the consumer part right there, I understand that, and what you just said as well of that. You know, some gamers do that crap because I've seen, and you know, a couple of the people too, who say I'm a business. I know I got my inside facts. I got this and I got that, and I myself have proven them wrong many times too. Proven them wrong because they talk so matter of factly without traveling. One, two, they don't. I mean, technically, they don't even. Sometimes they never left the damn state, which is. How you know all this stuff from your state, son? Really?
They got the inside information, man.
Oh yeah, so you think so these guys gonna call you up?
Yeah, say, real inside my house information. That's what it is.
Exactly. So I think I have set myself to say, okay, I know certain things, but I'm not gonna in that regard. Like I said, I don't know and blah 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 and all that thing. So. If somebody asks me a question, and if I don't know the answer, I will gladly say I don't know the answer. And I've said it, I've done it many times on podcasts where people ask me questions or whatever. I'm using I've named out one of my source, but I name out his full name because I don't want to get him in trouble. I'm stupid. I don't want homeboy to lose his job because we've seen that people losing their job for being on podcasts now.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that. He's a good friend, so I'm not gonna do that. But I'll say, like I said, the stuff that he's telling me is not only is it factual because that, but he also had the same thing. Like, if I ask him a question, he would gladly tell me, "Yo, I don't know, Liger." Yeah, okay, that's cool, and I keep it moving. But other people test that, and goes to what you just said. That you ask a question, but then they can't tell you the markets. They can't tell you about this. They can't tell you about. Okay, like I just did. They can't tell you about the markets. They can't tell you that basically all the gaming companies were reconstructing it. They can't tell you that most of the profits come from, you know, part of Nintendo's profits and Sony profits, like I just said, came from because of the yen and that stuff. If you don't get that glimpse, you thinking, okay, and they give you that simple answer like you just asked, that you just said, I mean, not asked, I'm sorry, that you just said, yeah, I would feel the same way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one does. I understand where your puzzlement comes from, and I set myself to be that I understand what the consumers want because you're still selling a product to people. But I understand. I try to balance it out: consumers and business people. And the Wii U, as we know, this is 100%. The Wii U is not selling. We know that this is selling to the way it is, but it's nowhere close to what PlayStation, to Xbox, none of that stuff. No. The thing that I point out with the question you asked about the money is because Nintendo they control their own market, so they have a profit margin that Xbox and PlayStation dream to have. Because if I bought Mario Kart digitally, that's 100% going to Nintendo. That's $60 straight to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers, Splatoon, they have more games because everybody knows Nintendo for their exclusives, or I don't want to pass your words like that, but exclusives or first-party games or second-party games. That's what everybody knows Nintendo for, and their profit margin on most of the games, even if it goes to the store, is at the worst end is 80%. If you take out shipping, making a disc, which they own the disc manufacturing company, so they don't have to spend money on that, but you still got to make it from a material. The disc, the shipping, the stocking fee for stores, and for some advertisement in stores to put it in certain shelves and stuff, it's still 80%, which again, a lot of Sony has that to a degree. Sony is more second-party games than first-party game. Microsoft has first-party games with Rareware and Dance Central and all that stuff like that, but they don't have the number that Nintendo have. And that's where the money comes in, where I say the Wii U is still making profits for Nintendo because they have that, making that money that none of the other consoles, I should say, can touch in that in the profit margin. I'm just making sure my words are precise, not for you, King, but for anybody else.
Yeah.
I think you catch on what I'm saying, but something, as you said, and you know what? You had a video about this too, when you say you have to talk matter of factly sometimes because people just don't listen to you.
Yeah, they don't hear anything you say. Like you could say stuff. The thing that kills me is when you say something and then people just add so much onto what you never even said some of these things. And they're like, well, that's what it sounds like. I'm like, that's not what I said though. Like that's that's two different things. What you hear, I can't interpret what you hear in your mind. I have no idea what you're thinking about. But yeah, I mean,
that's to the profit thing that you asked, and I'm like I said, I'm just being a matter of fact about it. They're making money with that. They're making money with the 3DS. They're making money with the Amiibos. They are, but the Wii U still provide a money because again, most of their games that sell in the Wii U, if you combine that with Sony PlayStation and Xbox, like no one game is matching those sales as one SKU.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like the best example, and I'm gonna go back to last generation, and I think we talked about it on our Endcast with me, and you talked about that, but it was a bunch of other people, so was like Call of Duty was the best-selling franchise of the 7th gen. No ifs, ands about that. It was a beast. Yep. But it was a beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Mario 6, but all their games combined still couldn't touch Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Sold a lot on 360, on PS4, on PS4. I'm so sorry. On PlayStation 3, on PC, and of course the Reflux version that was on the Wii. 4 different SKUs, but still can't combine to stop Mario Kart Wii that was on one platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say, how that works out in that regard. And again, I'm always, I talk to you about it, so it's one of those questions I think people need to kind of understand what's going on with that. So, I'll point it out there. So I have a next question to go with, and we should talk about this now. Of course, one of the people we listen to a lot, or I don't know if you listen to him a lot. I know you sub to him, and you do you do reply a lot to his videos. It's Mr. T.
Yes.
So Mr. T has this video out now talking about exclusives, and you put up a reply video about it. Mm-hmm. I have about it, and I listened to his video, and there's some things I agree with, and I listen to your video, and there's some things I agree with too. And you did your video because you did something inside the comment section. I don't know if you could. Can you give the condensed version of why you did your video to Mrs. T's video about the exclusives?
Well, when I saw it, we were having me and my boys were having like a discussion. His video popped up in my feed, so I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had planned on making a video anyway, but I wanted to ask some questions in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And it really wasn't to argue or go against his opinions, because I can't, like I say all the time, I can't argue someone's opinions. But it was just to give my take on it and to give another perspective. That's basically all it was.
Okay.
Just giving another perspective on what he was talking about.
Okay. And in there, we have this one. There is one thing that I think that you basically stuck on, and I think we could talk about that right now. Is and it could be it is interpretation. I'm not going to deny that, but I think there is a definition. Most definition goes towards this, and we could use that, which is basically the whole hardcore casual gamer crap. That's basically in this community from since the 7th gen now. Yeah. So what do you think you were saying about, because Mr. T did say if you're a hardcore gamer, you should not miss out these couple of games on a different platform. And he did. I'll just say that he did say in the video is his preference, which you called it and say, yeah, he did say preference.
Yeah. Yeah. So he basically, like, he was saying the part that was a little complicated or didn't make too much sense to me is when he said he would find it strange that you wouldn't really want to get a Wii U and it has all these exclusives. And I'm like, well, I don't see why you would find it that strange. What if, like you said, that's someone doesn't want them? It's their preference. They just don't like that stuff. And then he tried to compare it to other games that were like Final Fantasy VII and what was the other one? Persona 5. And he kind of like compared it to Xenoblade and Shin Megami Tensei. Now, Shin Megami Tensei and Persona made by the same people. So yeah, I can understand why you would compare those two, but Final Fantasy 15, I doubt if that plays like Xenoblade. Like, none of those play like Xenoblade. Xenoblade almost plays like an MMO for the most part.
And to go behind what you just said, I played both games and they don't play the same.
Yeah, so I guess if you're saying you're RPG dude, you might like both, but to say, oh, I like this, so you must like that, that's a little. They're not the same. To say that, I wouldn't say it.
No, and let's talk about the definition of this hardcore gamer thing, which is most definitions is talking about you putting time into a skill. I think every gamer could be a hardcore gamer, and every gamer could be a casual gamer. It depends on what game you become hardcore on. That's what I look at it as. You put in 10 hours, no, 10 hours. Let's not lie. If you put in, sorry, my mistake. I made a mistake. If you put in 130 hours, 300 hours on Bobby's Playhouse, damn, you a hardcore gamer in that game.
Of course, I would agree 100%.
Because I ain't gonna put that much time in it, but you did. I am 100% casual gamer on Call of Duty Black Ops, which I like the game. But let's go with the last one that I played all the way through and enjoyed, Black Ops 2. I'm a casual person on that because I play the campaign. I like it. It was a good campaign, and I dip into the multiplayer once in a while. But other people put in 400, 500, 600 hours playing that multiplayer, which is not interesting to me. So I'm a casual guy in that game, but those guys are hardcore in that game.
Yeah,
and that's the way I look at hardcore gaming. Because, like I said, like to do a hardcore comparison again is like More Monsters Demon Blade, and you heard me say this millions of times. So like More Monsters Demon Blade, or who else that I played that I know for sure? Oh, Metroid, bingo, those two. Like More Monsters Demon Blade. I did something that a lot of people have not done, which is breaking the code counter. Mm-hmm. That makes that I was striving to see what what combos I could pull off in that game to get that done. Yeah. So that took time, and you play the game as well, King, and it took skill to do stuff like that.
It definitely does.
A lot of people, even though it's 2 buttons, you got to find a way to connect juggle people and connect the hits to keep that chain going for that damn long.
And make sure the sword you switch to can keep up the combo you already started. So That definitely.
Or if somebody hits the sword that you don't break.
Yeah.
So to do that, that makes me think of, okay, make sure what the right time to switch the sword, to do all that stuff, whatever, which that's meticulous. That's going way beyond somebody else will play that game. And that makes me a hardcore. Or like Metroid, every Metroid game I've bought, I've 100% it. I don't need to, but that's my thing. So that's the way I look at hardcore in that way, in that regards. And it looks like you were kind of in agreement with me with that. Are you?
Yes.
Okay, and I think that's where our contention is, because just having a console doesn't make you a hardcore gamer.
Yeah,
I think
like
that's where he falls apart. I think that's where I think he tripped himself up in the way he said it, but I don't think he's, like I said, because of the preference thing where he said to try to correct it was all right, but I understand what you were saying there as well.
Yeah, like it was just a very weird way to put it, because I'm like, I wouldn't say a console is hardcore anyway. Like, going off of my own definition or just going off of the actual definition, I mean, I wouldn't say a console is hardcore. Now, you could play that console hardcore, but can something literally be hardcore? No, it's how you interact with whatever that is based upon the meaning of the word hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really not trying to take it left field here, but hardcore is associated with a certain form of the film industry, if we want to put it that way, if anybody understands what I'm talking about. So that's, I mean, is it hardcore because of what they're doing? I guess I don't know, like, why that's considered hardcore compared to anything else. So it's just how you handle it. It's how you play something. Like, I'm playing Dirty Bomb on my PC. I casually play this. Going hardcore, playing something a lot, using it a lot, being very enthusiastic about it, has to deal with it. The machine itself is not hardcore. No machine is hardcore. Now, if you want to use it in a way, that's fine.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a misconception because they think hardcore is it got to be a mature game. No, it don't.
No.
Oh, it's hardcore because it has to have not graphics. Damn, I can't believe I said that. Blood. I mean, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, blood and gore. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, blood and gore.
I wouldn't agree with that either.
I wouldn't agree with that either because again, there's people who would do that. Shoot, they got people in the casual mobile market who put in 1,000 hours in damn Candy Crush.
Hardcore gamer. But see, it's funny when a game is quote unquote called a casual game. Like I know a lot of people, they sit there and they play Madden every day, all the time. They even gamble on Madden. They play it hardcore. They're hardcore Madden players. And you tell them that well, first of all, a lot of them dudes that I know, if you say, oh, it's casual, they wouldn't understand. They don't follow that lingo. They wouldn't even know what the hell you're talking about. So, but the others that would, they'll probably take it offensive because it's like, how can you tell someone just because they're playing a game or a certain game? It's no different if someone says if you own a Wii U, that's a casual machine. I wouldn't agree with that either. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, it looks like we agree on that one. and also because you in the video you brought up you can use Webster definition and all that stuff. And like I said, most of it, you look at most of the definition, Webster, Oxford, all that stuff is because, and I cut out the Urban Dictionary because that's a translation. That's an interpretation. Interpretation. No.
Yeah.
It's basically putting time into a skill. That's mostly what the definition goes towards.
Yeah.
So okay, so we agree on that one. Okay, we're cool on that one. So our next let me see. Our next question I could say that looking at your videos that I think have a discussion about was basically this one is we could talk about this one more because this is where I think we can let people know now. In not many of yours, let me not say that. In some of your videos lately, you have pointed out that how should I say this? Okay, you have pointed out that that you as a gamer, which we all are, that we should have the exclusives on that. Now the point, and this goes to your wording of when you say that you don't. I'm going by your words. I don't care. I just want everybody should enjoy the games. I don't really. It wouldn't feel that bad if we done away with exclusives.
Yeah. Basically, you know, I don't care. Like I play a lot of games that I wish everybody could play. So
Yeah, and now now like I said, as a gamer, I agree with you with that. But that's where again, just like how you put on your analytical hat, I put on my business hat and I looked at stuff. I mean, I know business, not business. I talk to developers and stuff and see what happened. And also going back to the market crash when they flood the market with just copy and paste games and just didn't give a damn about the games itself, and
yeah,
nothing came out that stands out. I think we still need exclusives there because we do need we do need people who can sit at this console that's not rushed, that could maybe take some unique ways. Maybe it could happen, it cannot happen. I'm not going to say it always, but sometimes they come up with a certain. Sometimes they come with a graphic engine. Sometimes they come up with a way to manipulate the console to do things that nobody have done because they're only concentrating on that one particular console. And the example I used to King before we started this podcast was back in the NES days. The NES was not. It was at the time. It was not a powerful console, technically speaking, compared to what the Commodore 64 and all those other computers were doing.
yeah,
It streamlined it like most games like that. All consoles right now are streamlined from a PC. We all know that. Make the experience easy to go. What it is though that Mega Man, because of the 8-bit graphics, you couldn't crawl. So what they did with Mega Man, as everybody knows now, if you go back, you have the slide. It looked like he's doing like a break dance, but it's a weird ass. But it looks weird. But that's the only way they could get Mega Man to do the slide, to do something that crawls, so they could avoid the shots. Because remember when Contra came out, what Contra did is either you're shooting or you're down on the ground flat like on your stomach.
yeah.
So they wanted to try to make it more realistic in a way and try to do crawling, but they found out that the animation would never look good, one, and it just looked like a bundle mess. Let's just make it easy as that. It basically is the S word, but it looked like a bundle mess. So they get the slide. Same thing with Metroid. Metroid couldn't crawl, so what they did, they created the morph ball, which became a staple in all Metroid games. Miyamoto, I'll ask this question too because you are a younger gamer, Krim. Do you know why Mario looked the way he looks now?
Oh, now?
Not the overall. I mean, of how he looks with his face and whatever. Why he has the hat? Why he has the mustache? Why Mario looks like that?
From what I read, it had something to do. They were trying to make Mario look and appear more like a person, so that's why they chose the colors they chose when they were designing him. Because if they didn't, he would have blended in with the background. That's what I remember reading, but it's been a while. So
okay, you're what you read right there is the tip of it. But to go into further is because when Miyamoto and Iwata and them when they have the concept for Mario or Jumpman at the time, because it was pixelated, it's blocks.
Yeah,
you have to break up the blocks to show it was a face. So they put one block, which became the mustache. The hair didn't look right because you couldn't show a curve back in those days. So it best to just make 4 blocks and then put 2 row of blocks to make a hat. So it pronounced that he has a face. They did the block. They did the block underneath that one spot above his mouth, so he could pronounce the nose.
Okay.
So that's what it did, and of course, it's been evolving from then on to be hat, mat. The Mario we know today as that basic look. But that was a graphical problem, but they worked around it, and they worked around it, and that's what I think when people have time to create these exclusive games, they could push phenomenal games out there. Third party has a couple games that kick it like that. I'm not going to deny that, but if I have to really be honest with you, it's far between the truth of that to exclusives.
Hold on, I didn't hear you. You kind of lagged out. What you
Oh,
say?
sorry. I would say third party has done that sometime as well too, but it's far and between from if you compare to the exclusives. If I have to tell you the honest truth.
Yeah, I understand when people say like, when it comes to an exclusive game, they have more time to work on it. They're only working on one platform so they can get the most out of it. But like I told Ms. T, I mean, I don't know, like, and see when I said games should be on everywhere, it doesn't have to be the way people just imagine it. It's not like Mario. Let's say Mario, the next Mario. Let's say Nintendo makes their console, but let's say everybody puts their games on everything.
Mhm,
That
I got
doesn't
you.
mean that like whatever they do or put on their system, right? For Mario and the achievements they made with that game, it can't be put on another machine. Basically, what I'm saying, they could still from the ground up build this game for that system, and it works for that system. And then time goes on, they may. I'm not saying it even has to be day and date. I'm not saying they gotta like rush and make all these different versions at one time. That'd be probably too stressful. Probably cost too much money too.
True.
As time goes on, it probably takes nothing to bring that game over. You understand what I'm saying? Like like I'm not saying games all have to be. Games have to come out the same time. That's how that would be the compromise. I would assume that would be how you could still get your exclusive type work ethic or experience, but eventually this games will be known to go other places. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I to your point right there that if like okay, how should I say this? Okay, we it okay. Let me see. Okay, if there were like one console and people could do that too, in a way, I could even go 110% with you with that regards.
Yeah.
And I do understand how you're saying it because it's not nothing. Sometimes most of the games that are exclusive are not. Again, it's not super different that they can't put it on a PlayStation or since we're using a Wii as a Nintendo as the reference point on a PlayStation or on an Xbox. No, it can't be ported over there and do that. No, I have examples of games that did that and it was horrible as hell.
Yeah. I give you an example, right? And
Okay.
it was you just mentioned it earlier. Reflex.
Mhm.
They had to find a way to make that game, and even on the Wii, it had issues because there were just certain areas in Call of Duty 4 that were really demanding that the Wii couldn't really perform. So sometimes it would crash, but they found a way to put it on the Wii, make the Wii version different, and give you the same experience. You got the same experience, but you also got special features because of that controller that exists.
Oh
See,
yeah.
see when I say like, if they made consoles and everything was on everything, they're like, oh well, then it'll be monopolized. That doesn't mean like it's so that's like someone saying, every DVD and Blu-ray plays all the same movies. If you have a DVD player, it plays a DVD movie, no matter when it comes out. Same thing with Blu-ray. It's not like all of it, it's not like only one company makes those, so I don't see why the game system would be any different.
Okay, and I'll add to what you just said right there. If everybody makes a Blu-ray, the thing that comes out though is because of the market of if it's the same and nothing. Okay, when Blu-ray came out, you remember the problem which was you had to freaking update the damn thing.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the butt. Okay, I ain't even gonna even lie with that. I hated it for that reason. That's why I went a certain route. But the best Blu-ray player was the PlayStation. CNET said it. I'm going by people who do reviews for consumers. Consumer Reports said it. CNET said it. Geek Squad. All these companies who have this, this gravitas in the electronic community. Let's just say that. Right now, to what you just said, yes, every other DVD player itself, the Blu-ray player could be on any. The DVDs itself could play on anything. It doesn't make no difference. But the console the DVD players, them had problems because let me just put an example. Like I hated when I bought a DVD player. I mean, not DVD player. I ran to go to my cousin's house, and he bought a Blu-ray movie. And he said, oh, we need to update. And he updated. Then the next movie came out 2 weeks later. And they said he can't play the movie because he needs another update. which was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the ass. Now to go with what you're saying, that yes, they found a way to make the reflux work on the Wii U. On the Wii. I'm so sorry. On the Wii. Again, one of the things I do fault Nintendo for, that name, the name of the Wii to Wii. I do bang on that. That's something they should have never did. But again, they do something to make it work on the Wii. And and to me, I played it and I enjoyed it because I like the control scheme on there, and I enjoyed the gameplay of the control scheme. Yes. But it goes to what I said before, that just like you said right there. Why did they put Rayman Raving Rabbids, which was also on the Wii, on a 360 that doesn't have motion controls?
Why would they do that?
Other than money. Other than money, because they saw the sales. They didn't work it out to make it work on a 360.
Oh, other than sales, I couldn't tell you why.
Okay, and no, that's what I'm saying. Other than the sales, I'm saying, but it was not a fun game. Using your Xbox 360 controller to do the movements where you did the Wii with the Wiimote and nunchucks.
Yeah, because they didn't properly design the game to work with a controller. They made it work with a Wiimote and nunchuck. But and that could happen with my I guess future of gaming. That is a possibility that could happen. But like I said, if and also with this happening, I don't know. Like I'm hoping gamers mature more. If that were to happen, then that doesn't get supported. Obviously the people who don't know that they're going to give you a crap experience, they're going to get the shaft. But once they know, they shouldn't support it after that. It's no different than like when people with the Rayman Legends on Wii U, it was designed for the Wii U. And it went to other systems, and the features, the bells and whistles were gone. Now the game fundamentally works on everything, yes. But
the best experience was on the Wii because it was made for that game.
See, I beg to differ. The best experience to me was on the Vita because it had the Wii's features, and it's in the palm of my hand all the time. And I'm sorry, I just like that OLED screen. Like if I had the normal slim Vita, I probably wouldn't like it as much. That screen makes it.
I give you the OLED screen. I give you the OLED.
Yeah, it makes it pop. So
I give you that. So I can't argue that because of that regard. I'll ask a question. Since I do not have a Vita, was it the front screen that you could do the same thing with Mappy?
Yeah, you could. I think on the console version, I think those parts were gone or they were taken out.
It was in the buttons that you had to do it. But you didn't know where to go on the PlayStation 4 X, on the other consoles other than the Wii and the Vita. I'm just comparing the Vita, but on the other consoles, you press the button and he goes, but you couldn't direct him to where he goes because you couldn't point to where he needs to go.
Oh no! See, on the Vita, you use your finger to point where he goes and swipe, and you could use a gyroscope on the Vita to turn, like those puzzles where you gotta turn the Vita like a circle, or the gamepad around. Yeah, you could do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Okay. You know what? To validate your point, what you just bring up, then I can't argue with that. That is basically what, and you know what? That's the next company taking something to make it into that, which I wish more companies do. You know what I mean? Because you just stated that. That's basically mirroring, other than OLED screen. But that's just mirroring what the gamepad is. So that was a good port to port.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and the thing that killed me is the Wii version. The only I'm saying the numbers here, not to go against what you're saying, because we just agreed on that. Is because people, not the sad part is a lot of people don't buy the Vita, which is sad. Yeah. It's just it is what it is, and I wish. Like I said, I am gonna pick up a Vita later on because it got some good exclusives on there, and again, the next part I'll put this up quickly, but that's one of the things that I saw that you have the analytical skills to say, okay, let me check this out. When you brought up the whole, because I think it was, I don't listen to the guy, I don't watch his videos, but I know you watch more people than I do because I'm a more busy guy than you. Mm-hmm. But when you brought the whole, what is it, Jack Johnny Move, Drew?
Yeah, Jack Move.
The exclusive thing between 3DS and Vita.
Mm-hmm.
when you brought that up. And that's what I saw. Yet your mind is working like, well, he brought it up. Let me check it out. Blue, 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 blue. Hey, they have more exclusive. At the time,
his argument was that on Metacritic they have more critically acclaimed games like 70 above.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Yeah, not exclusive. Yeah,
I thought it was exclusive. My mistake. I'm so sorry. I remember. I thought it was exclusive, which is my fault. You're right about the score. I did, because I did the exact same thing you did. It was scores, yes. And at the time when he said it, and of course you repeated it more, how should I say, profoundly. I also went to Metacritic and looked at it, and at the time, at that time, I didn't know what it is now. I don't know what it is now. At the time, at the time, because we were trying to prove a point, so I understand that. At the time, I was like, okay, it's. Let me see. It basically was, I think it was 10 games different. So it wasn't a big jump, because both of them was up in the hundreds when it comes to how how they score on Metacritic.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you know what? Hey, Grim's right, and the other guy is right as well too with it, because you pointed out not on one, I think you pointed out on 3 podcasts is when I was listening. That you said that, they were arguing with you with that. I'm like, and you were like, hey, go to Metacritic, count it up. And the thing that killed me is like you put out that point that you said it, and some gamers don't. You say, okay, you want to go count it up, and some gamers, of course, will not go there, but they still would be matter of factly trying to push you down, which is, I don't understand that egotism as well either. But that console has great games on there as well too, and that was a great port. So it like I said, it's not going to be a perfect to what you were saying about the exclusive. Going back to that topic, it's not going to be 100. It's not going to be 100%. We just know that. And as we just talked about, that, and that is, even though you brought up that point, it still proves the point that, okay, that was something that could have been easily scaled to the Vita, and with the screen give you a nice visual upgrade, give you a nice look and everything, and you could play handheld wise like you just said. But again, it got a little, and that was some of the complaints, because you couldn't tell when you press the button to tell Murphy to clear the way for that when a giant monster was chasing you, and he couldn't clear the way, and you died because he wasn't clearing the way the right way.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, but like I said, look at it. I look at it this way, right? If that game didn't go on other systems, we would have never known that the Vita version gave you that full experience just in the palm of your hands 100%. Because I mean, you can have the Wii U version in the palm of your hands, but you can't go that far with that gamepad. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So if it didn't go somewhere else, then you wouldn't be able to I enjoy Mario 64, but I actually enjoy a lot better on the 3D. Not 3DS, on the DS, because I actually like using my stylus to move my character. What if Nintendo, that's their own game, but what if they never decide to move that on another platform? I probably would have never experienced it that way.
You know what? I can't argue your preference, and you know what? I could tell you have a weird sense of preference sometimes.
Yeah, like I'm one of the weird people
that control system.
I'm one of the weird people that enjoy Metroid Prime 100. Like I keep telling people, what I would do is we would be in class, and I would put my DS, like the corner of the DS, and prop it up on the desk, and then turn my 3DS kind of like to the side a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it would mostly lean the weight on the system instead of it being in the palm of my hand. And then I would play that way. And I was whooping people's butts, man. Like it was just fun. Like I don't know how many DS games do that anymore, where you didn't have to have the game. Only one person needed it. You can all play together. I don't know how many games do that.
I don't remember the number, because at the time when we was in a meeting, it was a good number, and it's slide down a little bit now, because I'm still surprised that they pulled it off with the Triforce Heroes that just came out. You don't need the all people to have the system.
That's smart, because I plan on getting that. And
the part that I don't like about it, and I'm a person, I'll bring this up. I'm a person that I would defend this and say it at the same time, even though it's not contradicting. Okay, it really ain't. But I could be a critic of Nintendo, even though I'm a Nintendo fan, or you could call me a fanboy. That words don't hurt me like that. I don't care to a point. But when I want to make sure that if you're going to criticize with facts, or something that, because again, you said it, and I've said it millions times too, and you said it on this cast 3 times already. I can't argue your opinion if it's not factual based. If that's your opinion, that's how you feel. How can I argue that? You thought that DS with Mario 64 and the DS with a stylus is good. And you know what? You enjoy that game. I can't take that enjoyment from you because I thought it was bad. Because I grew up with the analog stick and I just loved that feel with the analog stick.
Oh, I loved it on the 64 too. I'm just saying, you know, I actually enjoyed it on my DS with the stylus control.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You enjoyed it. I'm not arguing your enjoyment. and then, but you can't. But flip it. You can't argue my disappointment.
Yeah, but see, some people will try to, and it's just that's where it gets odd because it's like I don't know how to. I can't argue, nor do I want to. I don't want to argue someone's opinions.
No, but sometimes people's opinions, they put facts in it and their facts are wrong. And that's where I think you come try to stop them in some cases. And I'll do the same thing too. So that's where it gets where we come with someone. That's where the analytical of us, I should say, in a way, or people like us to look at stuff that way. We do it because the 3DS, like I said, like the critique I was going to say was, yeah, Nintendo, good that you did that for that game, but again, it will be cool since I have a sibling with me that I could tackle that game with 2 players. They didn't do that option
on the DS,
on the 3DS, the game that just came out now.
Yeah.
It's either 3 or single.
Yeah, I heard about it. And I also think it is kind of funky how you could tell it. I watch this guy named the Completionist. And
I know who he is.
Yeah, he was basically saying you can play it by yourself, and it's not that bad, but it's a hard challenge because this is really made for 3 people.
I'm gonna take on that challenge because I'm gonna buy the game.
Yeah, I'm buying the game, and I actually plan on playing it by myself. So
yeah, yeah. But but it's still that like I said, I have a sibling living with me in the house, which is the other part of my Enduro, and it would be cool because we played Four Swords. Four Swords.
Yeah,
that way, and we enjoyed it. It was cool. We didn't need 4 people. But we still did what it did. And I kind of wish they kind of add that in there. Could have been fun. But you know what? If that was, and it goes to the next topic that you brought up and you were vocal about this, and I agree with you. Well, if the feature that you think is important is not in the game, then don't support it or don't buy the game. Yeah. You want to start in the movement. I know you won't start in the movement. And the game we're talking about is Splatoon.
Yeah. don't buy it if you love that voice chat. Don't buy it. And a lot of people bought it anyway, even though they said
some of those are the hypocrites you're talking about. Now, me, I bought it because I saw the value in the game. Now, again, this is a preference thing, so again, I can't argue with nobody. But I said again, but I go with the matter of fact point that you brought up when you was talking about that back in March. It doesn't have voice chat. Okay, if that's an important feature that you like, and it's not in there, then tell Nintendo, hey, I'm not gonna buy the game. I'm boycotting it. Well, I wouldn't say boycott. Use the word boycott once in your video. So other times you were saying, hey, don't buy the game. And most of the words that you were saying that. But the first video I saw where you talked about, you didn't say boycott.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say, if you're gonna tell them that, and that's one of my hashtags, speak with your wallet, then tell them why you know why I'm not buying this game? Because you don't have no voice chat.
Yeah.
Done. I don't know what else you need to do. That's it. And if the sales don't match up, then maybe Nintendo would take a double look. Because I understand what you were talking about, because they had other people like, I'm not gonna. Good God. I even hate bringing up this argument because it's so stupid. I'm not gonna stop. If they give me a new experience, I'm not gonna not go out and buy it because they don't have the features that I don't want. What? Then why argue that feature?
Well, that means that feature is just not that important. Yeah. That's what that boils down to.
Thank you.
It's just not that important. Like right now, I see and I find this funny too because a lot of people think I'm like the designated Sony hater or whatever. I see a bunch of people, especially Xbox dudes, getting on Uncharted 4 saying it doesn't have dedicated servers, and I'm like, you know how many games I played as P2P that have great connection and I never have issues. Like when I first understood what dedicated servers were, and I heard about them. I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread until I got on them and had the same issues I would have on P2P. And I was like, you know what? The internet's the internet. It's gonna have issues. It don't matter what type of server you're on. Like it's
True.
so at the end of the day, I don't even care. You know, I'm hearing people say, "Oh, you need, they ain't giving their fans dedicated servers. They don't care about their fans." And I'm like, how many people are going to buy Uncharted for the multiplayer? So like, I don't know that many that's going to go just for that. They're going to play single player. They're going to play multiplayer for maybe they may play it for a long time, but that's not really the.
I'll tell you the 100% truth. The people who are. No. The people who have Xbox, who had Xbox in the past and are the trend jumpers, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who's like, oh, now PlayStation is the best console, whatever. They remember the multiplayer on the Xbox. And again, that's one of the things the Xbox have in spade, and I give props to the Xbox One. They have the best online on the consoles, console strictly. They have the best online infrastructure for that setup. But now that you jumped over to PlayStation 4 and you love, and because you want to be a trend, you be part of the in crowd, the clique or whatever, they're the ones who are going to say, oh man, well, this is crazy, whatever. But the PlayStation guys who had the PlayStation 3 and play all the Uncharted, they're playing it for majority of them are playing it for the story, for the single player campaign.
Yeah, and a lot of those Xbox dudes, I think Microsoft for most of their exclusives now give you dedicated servers. For those Xbox dudes, you realize last generation, a lot of those Xbox 360 games that had quote unquote great connection, those were P2P, right? So I don't even understand that whole complaint.
Some in the way the internet is working out now, some games work P2P well, some games don't. And like I said, you said it yourself right there. Some does, some don't. It's just the internet infrastructure itself.
Yep. How
to set it up. Because Smash Brothers try to do server is Smash Bros. Brawl. That was not a good setup. Nintendo did a horrible job at that. I'm not gonna deny that.
What's Mario Kart P2P?
Mario Kart is half P2T, half dedicated server because it has to match. Yeah, because it has to match up too many drivers with it. That's why Smash is not an 8-player online, because it's too much damn input, and it would have certain lag or whatever. But Mario Kart has 12 players playing, and it's such a big user base that they have to set up the servers to set up the matches, just like Splatoon. Splatoon is more. Let's put it this way: Mario is a hybrid. Mario Kart is a hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. Splatoon is more dedicated servers than hybrid. They have a little peer-to-peer, but it's not. That goes into when you try to get into certain matches to set up yourself for 2 people. Okay. And then Smash Brothers is very Smash Brothers 4 that just keep say Smash Brothers 4. Then Wii U, Wii U and 3DS. Mostly Wii U, because 3DS has dedicated servers because of the infrastructure of the 3DS, but the Wii U has peer-to-peer. That's why at the beginning, Sakurai told people, make sure you get the LAN adapter, which I have for my Wii. Make sure you get a LAN adapter so you have the best connection, because basically who jumps in and play the game, who has the worst connection, which is you see that if you see it on your Wi-Fi, if somebody who has a messed up system jumps on your Wi-Fi,
it goes down. It slows like a crawl.
Yes, so that's why they told you make sure to get the LAN. Everybody knows wired to your modem is the best thing out there since sliced bread when it comes to internet.
Like for right now, because of where my modem is, I can't have my PC plugged in wired, and I didn't want to do wireless. I bought it's if you can't do wired, it's the closest thing to it. It's I forgot what you call this thing. They're kind of expensive. You plug it into your electrical outlet.
Oh, power line.
Yeah, and then you plug it into another one, and you can get it pretty much wherever you got an electrical outlet at.
Yes, it's called it's a power line. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and for me, I kind of have the same problem, but what I did is something different, which is I upgraded my router. Routers now come. It's a topic I got to do sometime in the future, because this is just in general, and I think it's coming to consumers, but it's also not consumers. It's talking about general population, but it also talk about gamers too, in a way, because gamers reflect the real world. We are getting so much stuff that dumbs down stuff, that does stuff for us, that we're getting dumber and dumber. Basically, the routers now are smart routers. They have chips in there to figure out which is the best bandwidth and all that stuff. Now, it's expensive because the router I had was $100 router. It was a Netgear 900. It has the dual band and everything, but it just sends out the frequency all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now if you check out Netgear, and they got a next one that's coming out right now, which is freaking $400 for the freaking thing. I ain't paying that much for it. I got the money, but I ain't doing it. But let's say $400 router. Now it has 3 bands. It has a computer inside of the router that makes sure the signal goes to which band is the best. It picks up that, I'm playing something called QoS in Netgear. Some of the companies might use something different. I'm just going what they name it in their thing. So it's called QoS, where it searches out Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever. It searches out for that signal, and you're playing a game, and it gives you the most upload. It gives you the main upload, so you don't have the lag.
Okay.
So it does that, and the same thing. It goes on downstream. They say, "Oh, you're using YouTube or Netflix. Okay, let's give whatever that using the priority of that bandwidth and whatever." So that's what I have now. I bought the $200 one. I didn't bought the $400 one, but that's the thing. And like I said, what you did is power line, which still works good. But that's what's going on. That's what I'm doing right now, because basically my last couple of podcasts, I've been glitching the hell out, worse than it is than now. And it's working better. In my opinion, I'm happy it's working better. So, but the internet infrastructure is now set up. There is not a lot of things are hitting it at the same time. And like I said, Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers set up, and I have games I played on the Wii U that was lagged out, that was laggy on Smash Brothers, and there was some that just works flawless. But the percentage from Smash Brothers Ball is 100 times better. And that's a P2P, like you just said. That's a P2P system. So it is what it is in that regard. Let me see. I have I'm trying because a next video that you brought up, and I'm trying to ask the question too. Oh yes, you asked the question about and I can give you an answer. I don't know if it's going to be that one. Is just my thinking on it. You asked a question about the whole when we start using the generation thing.
Generation.
Next generation console.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was a while back.
That was like at least no more than a month ago, dude. It's a while.
I don't know, man. I mean,
you make so much videos you forget. Yeah, I remember the video. Maybe hopefully that does not get you caught up in a lot of stuff, dude, that you don't remember. Like, oh yeah.
Sometimes I have to do it like this guy in Mr. T's comments. He said Mr. T didn't say this, and I'm like, maybe he didn't, and then I rewatched it. I'm like, he did say that. What are you talking about? Like, I know I wouldn't have said that for no reason. Sometimes I don't remember. So
no, I got you. But you asked out. You were talking about the whole generation because you were trying to parse out the Virtual Boy and then the PlayStation and then
I know. Yeah. Because I was saying what makes something next generation? Okay.
You remember now?
Yeah, because I remember doing a video about this a long time ago, but it was about PC. Like,
okay.
Because I was talking about like people were saying PCs don't have generations. I'm like, so you're trying to tell me that big gigantic computer that basically took up a wall inside a military building is not different than it's generation when it comes to computers. So
it is because the processing what you do with the processors. And it scales. Basically, if you look at it, a lot of the top processors scales down to the next. After that, it scales down whatever technology you do into the other set of processors, and that becomes a trend in that time period until somebody comes up with the next feature that becomes revolutionary in most cases, or just evolutionary. It depends on what it is. You know, the whole bulldozer and for AMD, and you know, I mean, you know what I'm talking about in that regard. So, but to your console question though, that's what I was like, I know you said it within the last month. So I was like, okay, I didn't know you had a video that was later back. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't want to miss the confusion. Okay, but you asked that question though because the whole next generation thing. You saying because the Wii U the NX could be next generation, not next generation and stuff. To what you asked about that, I think, and I is going from experience. That next generation talk came basically at the 6th generation. It didn't happen back in those old days when you were really young and I was young.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about the next generation of thing. It was just like, oh man, you got PlayStation. Oh, that's great. You got Sega Saturn. Oh man, and that was the game talk around that time when I looked at magazines, when I looked at my neighborhood, when I looked at certain things. But then when we got into 2000, when 2000 came around and the century became this big number, Y2K and all that other junk. That generation talk bubbled up in popular culture, and then of course it popped into gaming, and then from that point on, we've been using next. I've seen that as a constant as the next generation. That's my answer to what you asked. Because you asked that question, and you like asked Shadow Foxes because they were older guys, and I'm older than you. And I'm just giving you that. It became that profound in the 6th generation with the whole next generation. I looked at it as, and then. Most game review now, how's it? Media. That'll be easy. Media use the generation then as a time period.
Yeah.
But of course, we know gamers use it now as
argument.
Hey, I can't argue with you with that one. You said it straight out, man. That's what it is now. So that's my answer to what you asked though.
Yeah.
Because I look at it as it's the next console, is the next generation of games. I look at the next generation games of something that I really couldn't play on my own console. That's the way I look at it. Most of the people around my social circle does it the same way. Technically speaking, some of the developers think that way when I talk to them. But everybody, of course, is adding this whole, like I said, this whole graphic thing to it, which right now is and you have experienced this, which is good, which is you have the Vita, which has that OLED screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new thing for TVs that's coming out. 4K is great. I've seen that OLED from LG up in Best Buy. That shit ain't no joke. That thing is awesome.
Like what's really getting these things together is like these TVs and like resolution. Resolution is nice, but I'm gonna tell you something that's real. That's a lot better than that. It's when your screen has such good color. Like OLED screens have such good vibrant colors. Like I couldn't tell you that like someone said the Vita screen was 1080p. I'd be like, it might be like, but it's not. I think it's like slightly higher than 480p. It's not even, you know, you wouldn't tell the difference. It's because it's so vibrant how everything pops on that screen.
Yes, but you know what? It also shows some crunchiness too. If some games I've seen when my friends play it, because I've seen when they played Call of Duty Liberty.
You talking about what's it? Call of Duty
Liberation, or it was the L one. I know you had L.
Oh no, Liberation is that was Assassin's Creed Liberation.
No, but is it I know it was an L something that was
Assassin's Creed Liberation and Call of Duty was called Declassified because it's supposed to be like a spin-off of Black Ops or something.
Oh yes, you are right. It was Declassified. You are 100% right. You're right. Yes, I remember. Now, I'm looking at it right now. You're right. I remember that, and I was like, that don't look that good. Because he tried to crunch certain things and it just didn't, for my eyes, and even the guy who played it was like, yeah, that don't look that good. That just doesn't look that good. And it goes to a point that, I mean, I know you never argue this. I don't see you never argue that ever, but I'm just going to point it out here as well. Is that, but you brought up color. And that's one of my things I've pointed out, and developers have said this many times. Is we you know what? Let's go into that art. Let's go to the top because we talked about when you talked about the whole the Nintendo NX thing. You said also about the 4K and 60 frames per second thing on your video. And so it goes into this. Anybody who wants to get the answer to what I'm gonna say, because I know people, you want to make sure people read this shit. Or you know what? There's videos. CNET.com, Dolby Films, Consumer Reports, all THX also has something like this. Colors are easy to scale. If the more colors you have, vibrancy, you can scale it easier. The thing that you cannot scale easier is because of what it is, because you cannot create a natural light, is blacks, which the OLED does do very well. You know what I mean? If you put color, if you put color against a deep black, it pops. It just does. And oil, so it can't do black. So without oil, you take that out of the equation to a degree. In some cases, the oil, blacks, grays, and whites are the hardest things to scale up. And most realistic shooters, as we could say, try to go for the photorealism. Try not, blends out some of the colors to try to go make that brick texture, that mortar brown. Or not mortar brown. Yeah. Mortar brown. I said it right, damn it. That mortar brown color, or that thing that, because it has grays in it and it doesn't pops out that as a way. But take something like Zelda Zelda Wind Waker, and basically all they did was upgrade the visual engine to HD. They didn't went back and do a lot of tinkering and stuff like that, like they would do if they do a Twilight Princess, or a Twilight Princess, or what game I played back in like or the first Resident Evil.
Yeah.
On PlayStation. You have to redo that engine from the ground up because it would not scale up no easier.
I would even say that with the recent upgrade to Gears, it looked like they had a lot more colors, because it sure didn't look that vibrant before. It was a gray, it was a gray, muddy,
You were right. It was a gray, muddy texture back in the first and second Gears that I saw. I didn't went in deep and play with my friends with 3 and 4. With 3 and is 4 the one that's coming out now, or no? It was the collection, Gears collection, right?
4 is coming out next, but the one they made after 3 was Judgment. 3 added a lot more colors to it, though.
Okay. I did not play 3, and I didn't. Yeah, I looked this stuff. I didn't play. I know I played 1 and 2 at my friend's house and got it. Saw what it is, and I'm happy that it has that thing. But I didn't play 3 to see the colors, like you just said. And you know what? It goes to I'm trying to say it's easy to scale those colors because you could basically oversaturate the color to make it pop against a black or contrast, whatever. And that's a technique that's used for, to make your TV looks good or your graphics look good or whatever. Now the point coming that when you said in the video that I pointed this out and somebody kind of said something to me and I said, hey, okay. And it goes, and you know what? To that person, and me and him had a good talk after that, which was that. But it goes to what you said, King, at the beginning of what we just talked about, where I said, I said this. I told the guy basically, and I told a lot of people this. If you don't believe me, just go to my channel so you understand where. And that's something I do. That's again an analytic thing I do. If somebody who's challenging me and say something, I go to their channel or go to their Google Plus account to see what they're talking about. To see to size them up to see if they're a person who's going to be rational, or they say something that's okay, this is a cool person, or this is just being a troll, or this is just a little kid just saying crap.
Yeah.
So I told him to when you said about the 4K textures, I said, you know what, I agree with you, and I kind of skipped that topic about that. I want to get into that too, but I skipped. But I agree with you with the whole. For that, with the NX thing, and that's the topic I want to get to. But I said, you know what, there are games that have 4K textures and it could be they could pull it off. Because when I was at Nintendo and I was at Square Enix, when I was looking at Final Fantasy 15 and Persona 5 that they're coming out with, they do something called bench testing. the bench, which is everybody knows bench testing, my mistake. They do bench tests for 4K because one of the things as a manufacturer or as a game designer or as a business person, if there's a better product out there or there's a saturated market of that product that I know I'm not gonna at the point I don't have the funds to jump in or it will be costly to my company, I'll use that product and just tell people use that product to my benefit. Basically now 4K TVs are the next level of TVs people are buying. And the prices have dropped down. Like you could get a couple 4K, 50-inch 4K screen TVs for $50. I mean, not 50. What the hell? I'm talking about $500. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. $500. I missed out the zero. You could get 4K TVs for $500. I'm sorry. Could have with Black Friday, blah blah blah, and all that BS. So you could do that. So what they're doing now is saying, hey, let's put in some of these textures in there that could pop when the signal goes in, and it could pop against the screen, and it looks more fluid. It has a smoother motion, and it just looks like give you that nice. I mean, graphically, it just look amazing. I'm not even gonna deny that. And coming from me, who's not a graphics guy, I mean, like I said, I choose gameplay. I am one of the guys who choose gameplay over graphics. I appreciate graphics when it's good. Don't get me wrong, but that's not my driving factor. That's me. I'm not saying anybody else. That's just me. I could play a 2D fighter and have fun if it looks like the original Street Fighter and still have tons of enjoyment out of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I like graphics and all. Like everybody does. I don't think anybody would deny that. But right now, I'm playing a game. Maybe at the time it looked good, but definitely don't look good now. I'm playing a game on PC called Dakatana.
Oh yeah. I know it. Yes, I know.
That don't look too good now. But it's fun. You know, it's fun. So
I know the game you're talking about. Yes, and now no. But but you have that moment. There's something I'm not gonna. Like I said, I'm not denying that I have. I'm not denying that there's, like you just said, there's some things that wow me graphically. Zelda, Wind Waker, Wii U, More Monster Demon Blade. Still, it wows me. I love that the graphic style they choose for that. That thing looks like a painting, no matter. And I'll bet it looks awesome on your OLED screen.
Oh, it looks great. Another game that looks great because I had it on PS3. I don't think it was crossed, but I had to get it again. Was Dragon's Crown? I think it's made by the same people.
Yes. With the lady with the big old titties. Yes.
that game, it looks great on the Vita. Actually, it's hard to play that game for me because how it's drawn in the art style. Sometimes I can't follow my character because no matter when you're playing, 4 people are going to pop up. There's going to be 4 people on the screen at all the time. So when you're playing by yourself, the NPCs will pop in, and if it's another character that's my character, I can't. Sometimes I get lost, and I don't know if it's me or the NPC. And sometimes I'm like whipping ass. I'm down, but it's another guy that's a warrior. It looks just like me. His colors may be different, but I can't follow. So.
No. I understand that, but yeah,
it's just probably I can't. It's me. It's not really.
I got you, but like I said, I will bet you. But like you just basically confirmed it. More Monsters Demon Blade Rebirth looks awesome on the Vita. I'm not even deny that. But when I played on my 1080p computer screen for my Wii, when I first got that game, and I was like the intro scene, the way that the art style pops is it almost with the spider and the sunset. It looks like it was like a photo.
Yeah,
it don't even look like it was like hand drawn. It looks like a damn photo. I was like, what the? Wow, that's a cool trick that they did that. Did not even catch out that. If anybody who has the game, if you let the what do we call it now? Dang damn it! You let the title screen go, and they do the little trailer.
Yeah.
Before, and it goes through the whole little story of what's going on. You have a part where the sun sets, and then it focuses out to a spider walking on the leaf and everything. It looked photorealistic to me. I was like, wow, like this, and a couple of people that saw it too. But I like the art style, and I appreciate the art style. And like you said right there, they took that. They didn't. I guarantee they didn't change the graphics for that game. They just put it on an OLED screen like you have, and it looks great.
Yep.
I could guarantee that's what it is, and that's what's going on right now. They have Mario 3D World has 4K textures, and a lot of people will say think that one. I cannot give you 100% definitive. I'm not going to even lie to you because it's something that I saw at the development station in Nintendo. So it has the textures, it do, and a good example of that would be Pikmin. Look at those fruits.
Yeah.
Those fruits stand out outside of the game. Nothing in that game looks good as the damn fruits.
Some of the best looking games I've seen so far this generation were on Wii U, like what is it? Tropical Freeze, the first of all, just the fur on Donkey Kong, but it's a level, I forgot the levels. It's where it's like jello and fruit are everywhere.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
That looks real good.
Yeah, and you could do textures in that 4K resolution at that point to make it. And when that thing hits the scale engine of the TV, most people are buying now, then it gave it that extra pop. Just like we just talked about how More Monsters Demon Blade looks, I guarantee you 10 times better on that Vita screen than on my 1080p screen with the 4p signal for the Wii.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like what is it? I mean, a lot of games are this way where the game, like people play games on PC. They play old games where 4K didn't even exist. They're playing at 4K. That doesn't mean that those textures are in 4K. It's just upscaling it to. Well, it's not really. It is playing natively in 4K, but that game, the textures. I can play Half-Life in 1080p, but I mean, it looks better. It looks clearer, but those textures are not 1080p. So it works the same way. You can have 4K textures or even 1080p textures in a game that's not that resolution.
Yeah, and in that same video that what the person was talking about, I never said, and it goes to what you were saying that some people don't read what you say. Because I said there's not many games, and I know because of my moniker of Endure, people could perceive it a certain way, so I expect it. But it was like the person was like, I said, well, there's not a lot of there's barely that much game that's running on PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360 One, as we know, that is not native for 1080p 60 frames per second. And he was like, well, Nintendo don't have. I never said Nintendo in my comment now. I never said Nintendo in my comment. I just pointed out something that could be done. So it's weird. It goes to what you said that some people, look past what you said and do that conclusion thing. And it can, and that's what they're doing now. Persona 5 has 4K textures in it. Dragon Quest for Square and Final Fantasy 50 has 4K textures in it as well too, because they're gonna give it that the visual appealing to your eye. And again, Pikmin and Mario thing and Zelda Wii U has the same thing as well to that 4K textures in it. So it's just, but it is not native. I'll tell you that. And it goes to, and you made a matter of fact point, King. So I'm not going against you with that. It's not native and it's not 60 frames per second. That is 100% correct. And I'm not. I was not in that comment section with that guy. I was not arguing that. I say it can happen with doing an upscale engine, but it's not native. The native thing is upscale. And I pointed out also in my comment. He's like, well, upscaling is native. I said upscaling. I said that. But again, they went beyond the scaling part of what I was saying.
Yeah.
So the last thing I will say, because I'm surprised we got questions on on our topics. But the last thing I agree with you 100% with, and I want to point it out here, and I think I divulged from it a little bit, but I'll say it again. The Nintendo NX is making money. As I answered that question for you, King, and not NX, the Wii U. I'm sorry. God dang it, I gotta stop doing that. Thinking before I talk. Sorry, but the Wii U is making money for Nintendo still. And if I was them, and like you said, they should keep it going for 2016, and then 2017 Christmas bring out the next home console. Again, I don't know if the NX is a home console, so I can't go off for that. But they should bring out the next home console. I think that because you're still making money, you still have time, and give yourself more time to develop the games better or find, because one thing Nintendo's doing now that I did find out there is, and you could see it in the games now, what Nintendo does, every game which kind of hurts them, and it goes, and that's the next question to ask to you, really. Damn, I keep on going down this rabbit hole, man. Sorry. But Nintendo has, as it goes to the question you talk about the drought thing, and I think me and you already don't have our part about the drought thing. It is games, but it's not to your taste, so it will be a drought.
Yeah.
So that's my argument when people say that, and like I said, I know you understand that. So that was never pushed towards you, because if I use that person's logic, then PlayStation 4 has a drought for me because I ain't bought it.
Yeah.
And I ain't playing it.
If the games don't interest you, then like I can understand why people would say the Vita has it. Like I've accepted a while back. I accepted before I even bought my Vita that this thing ain't really gonna get that many games. That's you can say that's a sad thing, but I'm like, I plan on I want to play some of my PSP games again digitally. I play games that come on it. I bought it expecting to get games every now and again anyway. My Wii U, that was a different story. That was supposed to be my primary console, but it didn't work out that way. So
no, I say, and you know what, you sold it back in, you did what it is. I can't. It's your money, so yeah. I'm not gonna see. That's the thing. Some next thing I don't like is you did what you did with your money. So why would I argue that you did what you did with your money? I don't understand that as well. That's annoying in this community. All consoles, all fanboys does this, all of them. But anyway, but what they've tried to go with that point was they recognize certain things. So what they're doing is, as when Nintendo makes their games, they work from the ground up all the time. In the past, they get their graphics engine and get this, they do this, they make sure the gameplay is first before anything, and then they think of the art style and then go from there. And they go from the ground up. They always do the ground up thing, except for when they put it out the game for like Grezzo and everything. But Grezzo still go down to the binary parts to make like Xenoblade Chronicles on the DS, because certain things would not work. They still have to rescale certain things to make it work and make it contact on that 3DS. Because the draw distance is nowhere compared to what it was on the Wii. Yeah. No, it's not. So, but that's just a point to put out there. But what they're doing right now is saying, they said, you know what, let's not, which is, I understand the charm of doing that, because when you work from let's put it this way, when you work from the beginning of something, you understand it and you know how to work. You work your way up to change stuff, and you say, okay, I remember, damn, the foundation was messed up. So I know I could messed up a little bit, so I could slide it to the side here to even it out, or blah blah blah. I'm just using like a building from the ground up to go that in as an analogy. Mm-hmm. That ground was messed up over there. I need to put a couple more. I need to put 6 inches of slab here to even out this side, even because I dig the hole messed up. Because that the hole's messed up because you did it from the ground up. That's cool, but when you do. What Nintendo is doing now is make sure that they're reusing some of the engine, as we see now. Mario 3D World, they use it for Total Treasure Tracker. Yeah. Zelda Link Between Two Worlds, they use it for Triforce Heroes. They're now getting to the point, okay, we understand some people have legitimate arguments, legitimate people, not the whining babies, but legitimate arguments about the certain droughts, as you would say, with the preferences. So we're gonna reuse the engine so we can make these games faster. And I think if they do that with the next home console, I think they should give the time more space, more time, because again, Nintendo is not going to be the market leader in most gamers' eyes, again, unless there's a crash, or they come up with something so innovative that it blows, that the casuals come back in mass grave to make it like the Wii did. Because I saw this comment on IGN, and IGN has a couple bad translations when they take stuff from Nikkei and Famitsu. And Kimishima, who's the president of Nintendo now, said that the NX is gonna be gonna sell way more than Wii and DS. I'm like, there's no friggin' way.
Wii and DS.
That's what a quote, and that's what I'm saying. There's no friggin' way you could do that.
That'd be great if it did, but I doubt it.
Let's dissect it a little bit, King. Come on, the Wii U. The reason the Wii sold itself was a lot of things came together, really, but everybody, casual markets was, smartphones was still not dominant back then. 1, 2, the Wii Sports was the gameplay and the way that you play with the Wii connected with the Wiimote was its own unique feature that people was like, wow, that's a new way to play the game. And also, Nintendo got a ton of free advertisement on CSN, on MSNBC, CNN, your local news station. Because people was like, this is the new way to play the game. This is crazy and blah. That was the
you know what made the Wii, especially in America, blow up? One person, Oprah. It's not a joke. It's not even a joke. I'm so serious.
No, I'm not lying. Well, not even Oprah. Ellen. Ellen had her stuff on the but it goes to what I just. But you're right in what you just said. But it falls on a free advertisement.
Yeah,
Nintendo didn't pay Oprah to do this.
Oprah liked it, and she said, "I'm gonna talk about this on my show." That's it.
Yeah, and like I said, if you remember well, Graham, did you not see it on so many places when like people would talk? Because remember, you couldn't get the Wii for 2 years.
Yeah, it was a while. They were out of stock. I remember. I ended up getting mine once it was they had the price drop, and even then people were rushing out trying to get it. Like, I remember being when I was younger, I was scared because I was like, I don't think I'm getting it this Christmas because my parents are like last minute shoppers. And I'm like, man, it ain't gonna be no more in stock. I ain't gonna it's gonna suck. I ended up getting one though, so it was great.
I mean, that console, I'll say this, that console and the GameCube to a certain degree were the only two consoles, and I put it inside in my video, was the only two consoles I got day one. Now the GameCube was a gift it was a special GameCube, so that's a whole different story in there because my GameCube is a modded GameCube from my contact. It could play Japanese. It was an on-region locked GameCube that I could play Japanese games and American games.
Oh, that's cool.
I got it before Japanese. I got it 3 months before the Japanese market got it, and I got it 6 months before the U.S. market got it. That's cool. I got Smash Brothers, but basically it's called Super Deonto, but I got Smash Brothers mainly before a lot of people got it. Because I still remember when I was in my not dorm room. What the hell am I saying dorm room? Because I live in an apartment. I always said dorm because I was in college. Yeah. I remember I was like playing a game and people was like, "What game are you playing?" I said, "I got Smash Brothers Melee." He's like, "Bullshit, you ain't got that." I said, come to my apartment. And of course it was Japanese, like Super Deonto, blah blah blah. And then they're like, they're like, "What the hell? How you get that?" I was like, dude, man, Smash Brothers, bro, let's play it. But they didn't believe me though until I showed it to them. But those are the two. But that was a special gift, like I said. But the Wii, for some reason, and maybe that's just luck, I saw shit. Because trust me, I wasn't going into Wii with hype. When I saw that trailer when the damn controller came out of the white ooze or milk or whatever the hell that was, I was like, what the frig is that? And how the hell do you play with that? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I didn't know what it is, but some tell me whatever, and I went to GameStop. I got it. I did the line up in the line, pre-order, blah blah blah, and I got it. I was like, oh, day one, and I enjoyed it from day one up, whatever. But those are the two consoles I ever bought that time because I saw, maybe because in my mind I saw, like you just said, Oprah's talking about it, Ellen's talking about it, news media's talking about it, that it worked out for Nintendo. And of course, the DS worked great because nobody figured out touch gaming until DS came around.
Yep.
So you combine touch gaming, something different, and the two screens, and all that stuff we said for the Wii. that gave Nintendo, you combine the sales over time, or the lifetime of 110, I'm running down, but 110 and 155 DSs, combine that together. So you got close to 300 million consoles. There's no freaking way what Kimishima said. If he said that, that's what I'm saying, could be a bad translation. That can't happen again. That won't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo hit you with innovation on their handheld side and their console side, and it worked for both. Now, the fusion, now that I really think about it, it makes sense. Like, imagine if they gave you an innovative handheld, gave you an innovative console, but not only did they give you those, but let's say hypothetically the fusion combined those and they're one big unit and they work together. That'd be great. Now, will people adapt to it? I don't know.
Yes,
it's a lot of great things that come out that people don't buy. So,
yeah, with your weird taste with your Vita.
Yeah.
But my point is, now you got Apple TV. The casual markets, casual people is the Apple guys are just gonna clam to that.
They're just gonna buy the Apple on it.
Yeah, because it has Apple on it. It's gonna go to that. You have smartphones now that's more prevalent. I don't play smartphone games really. Technically speaking, I don't. My sister does to a degree, and they do have some smartphone games that does work very well, but it's just not my taste. And I don't hurt people. I don't bash people because they like their the Infinity Blade on it. Infinity Blade look like a console game.
Like a game. Well, I used to play Grand Theft Auto on my mobile. I remember playing. They had a version of Skate on mobile, and actually, Nintendo kind of recently. I still haven't picked it up for the 3DS. It'd probably be the next game I buy for it. That Puzzles and Dragons. I play that demo all the time.
Oh, dude, it is. I'll say this. And I don't know if you've listened to my, because like I said, I know you're busy working and doing what you gotta do. I have that game. That's one of my that's one of my contenders for a 3DS game for this year for my thing. Me and my sister played it. It's a Pokemon kind of. I don't like match 3 games really to a degree. That there's 3 match 3 games that I've played ever, and I could recommend 2 of them. Puzzles Dragons, one of them. Cause it's not a match 3 in the original way. It's moving, and you know it because the way you play.
Yeah.
So it's different. You're not just slide here, boop, 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 and let it fall. No,
I thought that's how it played until I realized I could like my friend was like, no, you can drag them, and you could take one piece and keep dragging it around all over the place, and it'll switch things in a row.
It basically
line up a combo.
And basically, but when you do the drag, like King just said, it also affects every piece in the tile set, I should say. Yeah. So I was like, what the I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, that blew me. And of course, the next one I would say, and I don't know, it's hard to get. I bought this game maybe 2 months ago, a second version, because it's a hard game to find. And it was too bad. It was a good game from from EA, and they closed down that studio too. And it's for the DS. Maybe because you're a DS guy, so maybe you heard about it. Henry Hathworth.
I haven't heard that one.
Check that out when you get a chance. Henry Hathworth. It's the top screen is like a side scroller beat 'em up, like you hack and slash. You going around, you could jump off the wall like Ninja Gaiden and stuff. It's an old guy, but you could jump off the wall. You're fighting, whatever. But in the bottom screen is like a puzzle.
Oh, okay.
But you have to swap. You have to switch to the bottom screen to keep. Basically, when you kill the bad guy, it drops down. It takes one of the puzzle pieces, and if you don't keep the puzzles down, it's gonna come up to the screen, and they're gonna be reconstitute. They're gonna come back alive as blocks and try to kill you all the time. But inside of the lower screen also has power ups and everything. So once in a while, you have to switch to the other part, do the puzzles, and it's not a match 3. It's a match 3, but not the same way too. It's a different version of match 3. You have to line up. You have to swap the squares, but it doesn't have the Puzzle Dragon style of it. But you have to swap the squares, and you do it. And then you give him the power up on the top screen, but you still have but it's like I said, Castlevania, Metroid kind of thing. You could jump on the side. You could the kick jumps. You could slide down the walls. You could do power rays, power guns, all kind of crazy stuff. That is a cool game. I gotta do a review about that. Really, That's a next match, but but on the genre side, it is a match 3 puzzle game.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's a good game. I mean, check out videos about it, King. I think you'll like it. It's just something different. Seeing that you like something different than most gamers.
It's called what now?
Henry Hatsworth. It's by EA. Henry Hatsworth. I don't if let me see quickly, but I'll keep on talking. But Puzzle and Dragon. Here goes to an argument that you brought up too. Still, Puzzle and Dragons is on the mobile, as you just said. There's a free to play, and you could pay a which are you playing it for your Android or your iOS?
Puzzles and Dragon.
Yes.
I play it on Android.
Okay, you're not going through the microtransaction. I hope not.
No.
Okay. The reason I said that because when you get like the one on DS, once you basically get 2 games for the price of 1, and you have at first they gave you, which of course Nintendo did this sneaky little crap I hate, but they gave you 8 dungeons and stuff like a Mega Man thing, 8 bosses. You come together, boom, 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 you're done. You know, that's just Mega Man's style of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. But of course, if you beat the main boss, you find out there's 8 more dungeons you got to go through. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And they did that with Mario's version 2. The reason I say that you don't buy the microtransaction because I'm at a roadblock. That game has a nasty ass game spike. I'm not even gonna lie.
On the one on the 3DS.
Yes.
Oh.
It has a game spike, and I think is people have said the same thing too, and people, and that's what people didn't like on the mobile because it has a game spike too that make you want to spend it.
Mm.
And that's why I say, you know what, I'd rather pay $30 and done with it instead of paying more money all the time, whatever. The game spike is basically for me in the 3DS. I'm at the last stage of the boss. All the dragons are hard as hell, but I could get past them with the skills I have. The problem is the last boss has the RPG trope that I don't like. He has 5 bodies. You have to kill off one of the bodies because if you don't, he's gonna do an ultimate attack. It's a 1-hit kill.
Yeah.
If you do kill that dragon, then you have to wait until the opening to attack the body, which is kind of messed up too. And even so, they can reconstruct the drag. They can reconstruct the heads, of course. And if the heads are all there to again, he could regen his life.
Mm.
I was like, son of a bitch. And I've gotten close, but sometimes the puzzles doesn't fall the way I want to. I was like, what I need to do, of course, is get the ultimate versions of my best squad that I have. Get the ultimate evolution. I have only 2 of them. I need 3 more. But the problem is, though, the damn puzzles, they don't want to drop the damn puzzles that I have all the pieces, but I don't know. The evolution system work where you have to have 1 puzzle from the dragon that you need to transform into.
Okay.
That's the way it works. So you have to fight that dragon, and you better hope he dropped that puzzle piece. Because I have all the other pieces, the arms, legs, everything else to evolve. I just need some piece of him so I could do the evolution. Well, that's the part that's been pissing me off that I can't get that. The random drops in that sucks. In that game. So I've just been basically getting my money up and up. So because what Nintendo does, they give what they did, which was cool, is every day has a challenge for Puzzles and Dragons, and I think it's gonna be that for the life of the game. So so what happened is you go to your father. I'm just giving a little detail. You go to your father. He gives you this money thing, and you go to the shrine lady, and she teleports you. And every day the puzzles change. Every day. The puzzles change. Today is the fire chamber. You have 5 levels. Fight through those 5 levels. Now you ain't gonna go through all 5 levels unless you're really good. You can go to and break it up. To next day is the dark dragons. Next day is the light dragons. Next day is the water dragons. Saturday and Friday is the money monsters. You can get a ton of money if you need to do grinding for money. But it's switching every day outside of the main thing. So if you want to get that, I recommend it. You are that kind of person who look at stuff more than most gamers. I say take a good look at it. It's a really good game. Senra Kagura is the next one that's been taking my time. I love beat 'em ups, and that game is an awesome beat 'em up, even though it has a lot of the, the fanfare, as we call it.
Yeah.
Which is not needed. I'm a grown man. I don't need all that fancy. The jiggle we don't need all that jiggle physics. Please.
Too much.
Dude, I'm like, this girl's wearing a turtleneck sweater. Why are her boobs moving? That turtleneck sweater is compressed. You don't need that. Don't do that. And of course, here's a joke too. The first monster, which is Orochi, is a Orochi, but a female Orochi, of course, that has boobs. Why? I don't know why. But the gameplay is solid. That it's a beat 'em up that you could do awesome ass combos again. Like I did a 1500 combo on one of them.
Oh, okay.
1500 though. That's a lot. that's you going around, and that's again like kind of like Muammar Super Blade is a 2-button system. Weak attack, strong attack. You have dash and all that stuff, but to get 1500 though, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah,
and that goes back to that's why I'm a hardcore gamer in that game to pull off that. While other people are like, let's just play to the game, the story, blah blah blah, whatever. But the DS has those games. It's going back to the topic. The DS has those games and stuff like that, and they call it a market. But even with the Fusion, as you just brought up right there, I don't think that with Apple TV and a mobile phone and all that stuff, they're not gonna get 7th generation. The sales of 7th generation is not gonna happen in this generation or the next generation. I could guarantee you that, unless something happens that's monstriously out of the norm. I messed with Oculus Rift. I could see the value in it, but for the gameplay aspects of it right now, a lot of people. The thing about it is when we was at the, what do you call that thing? When I was at the demo place where other people was trying it out.
Yeah.
A lot of people found out they had a lot of motion sickness that they didn't even know.
Yeah. I really just don't think that's going to be as big as most people think it's going to be.
And also it goes to people say about why they don't let this, because my argument, I have a video, hopefully I could get it. I said I'm going to get it out tonight. I hope I can. Talking about when people say about, oh, why don't they do the gamepad, blah, blah, blah. Why don't just use a regular controller? Why they didn't use it as a peripheral? You know how much times I could come up with peripherals that was later on added on that didn't work, that didn't catch on because it wasn't the main feature of it. And again, the Oculus Rift could be $300 to the PlayStation 4 or 5. I'm not buying a $400 headset. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when it comes to peripherals, I mean, you can't really to utilize to make it like the main thing of it is kind of silly. It has to almost be like another device. That's why Microsoft, that's why even though I didn't want the Kinect, I could understand why they put the Kinect in the box, because they wanted to sell it as one whole unit. But the thing is that I wasn't stupid either. I'm like, I mean, I don't know how often they were going to use it. So that's another reason why, even though I understood the point, I assumed it was going to be pointless, and it looks like it pretty much is at this point. Other than voice commands, they don't use it.
No, and this is something I'm gonna preview you to from the development side. From what like I said, when I went to Nintendo, I also in Microsoft and stuff like that. Like again, I mean, maybe you heard me say it or not, maybe not. Microsoft had a Microsoft Glass that was going to kick out. EA had 5 games ready to go. Well, let me be 100% honest, because I don't want to get things twisted. EA had basically 5 games, majority rate set to go. It wasn't greenlit all the way. It was like, we have the concept, we have the gameplay and everything good. We have the development, they spend money in it. So the game was an actual game in that regards.
Oh, okay.
They had 5 games ready to go, ready to go for the Wii U and Microsoft Glass. But because of the gamers, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it either. Because the gamers didn't want the Glass to work out the way. I don't want that. I don't want no gimmicks, whatever. Microsoft scratched it, And EA said, well, if being it is a company that makes money, seeing that I don't want to put this game just on the Wii U and don't have the mass appeal because they are a third-party company, they scratched the games. They scratched the games. And 2 of them was games I really want other than the Madden, because remember, EA talked about how you could do the screen with the plays and stuff. They talked about it for Madden, that you have your own screen, you could do your own plays, you could do your own audibles and everything. And they showed it. They showed it at E3.
Yeah.
But it didn't come to fruition. Nobody's talking about that feature in Madden now.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, and I think that if you have if the console's there and it has it, you take the uniqueness of it. If you could find, like you just said yourself, if you can find a way to work around it, that'll be cool. But some guys, some publishers don't want that to happen. Some developers come with some great ideas. The publishers don't greenlight it because they don't want to spend the money. And it kind of sucks how it works out that way, because I've seen so many guys when I was at EA and Ubisoft. I see so many guys who walk in with some awesome ideas, like Red Steel 2 was an awesome idea. I wish more people play that game. One, I get money off of it, so I ain't gonna lie. I'll be full disclosure, I'm not gonna lie, because I worked on it. I get my royalties, but it's still an awesome game. I've seen nobody pull off what Red Steel did.
I still haven't got. I played the first one, and I still haven't got the second one. I need to go ahead and get
one. Is not the one. I give you that one. I see the concept, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
Red Steel 1 and Red Steel 2 are night and day.
Yeah, I got to get the second. I mean, the second one, like I think at GameStop, I've seen that for like $2 or something. Like,
well, go ahead and pick it up. I ain't gonna get no money from that, but then
I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't know where to get it new.
No. I got you. I'm messing with you, dude. Yeah. I'm messing with you. But no. Pick it if you have it. Red Steel 2 and 1 are 2 different night and day. And the next thing, no game I have. I'm talking really, no game has done what Red Steel has done. Everybody's talking about some people say, oh, well, the Elder Scrolls and stuff. Like, no, Bioshock Infinite, no, because you're holding out your hand. You could do the what do you call it? What do you call it with Bioshock Infinite? With the damn, what is it? Spells?
Oh, they have vigors. Which I mean,
yeah.
Just say that's
Yeah, it spells, but I'm just trying to be, trying to make sure, because you know how sometimes you say things and fanboys just go freaking nuts. So. But they have that. But in Red Steel 2, you can block the bullets. You could do combos that the game never taught you to do. Like and power moves. There are 5 power moves in the game. All right, King. Mm-hmm. One of them is called the bear, where you pound the ground and it stuns the people around you. Just give a little stun and it gets their guard off.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, so I could do that, pound the ground, stumble you. They have something called Eagle, where where you could knock the person in the air and you follow up behind them in the air. So you go use the bear pound, bounce them off, knock them in the air, jump in the air, slash them, take out your Tommy gun or your shotgun or whatever gun you want to take. Shoot them and slam them back down to the. I mean, you could do so many combos in this thing. That's like, what the hell? I was like, and the sword play works very well with, and the gun to sword switch like on the fly, no problems at all. You want a gun? Press the B button, it flips out the gun. Bam, 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 bam. Want a sword? Hold it up. Press the A. You got the sword kicks out. That's it. That is it. And you have the controls is just precise. Like they have something called one of the other powers called Snake. You hold it, press the Snake button. You could take 5 guys, which is basically kind of like a bullet time thing, and you shoot 5 guys straight headshot. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I've seen that being used in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah, that is, and it's a trailer that's accurate and told you what's going to happen, and it happens in the game. And it happens. I remember when I was fighting one of the guys. There's a bad guy. When you come to that person, I'm not kind of it's spoiling, but not too much. But it is letting you know. I was gonna I had the bear, which is a good move, and to that point. And this guy has kind of like a, what do you call that thing? A bow staff. A naginata. That's what it's called. Where you have the blades at the end of the staff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, son of, you know, they do the trailer where you shoot the gun and he splits the bullets. You're like, okay, he's a badass. But in that time, you was on a time frame to catch the train, so you had to beat him quick, so you could get on the train. So I'm fighting the dude. That's okay. This guy's he blocking every freaking thing. I'm like, son of a bitch, this guy's a pain in the ass. All right, I'm gonna do the bear to stun him. I do the bear. Son of a bitch jumped on the top of the staff. And I didn't. When you screen, when because it's a first person view, and you looked up. I was looking. I was like, where'd he go? And it's that kind of blended in, kind of like how you were talking about with the dragon's crown.
Yeah,
blended in with the art style. So I didn't see it, and then I looked up, and he's looking at me like, huh? And then he flipped out into a combo on my ass. Like, what the frig?
Yeah.
But again, that's one of those games that took what Nintendo made the mainstay, which is the Wii remote, and made something that was awesome. It sold to make money. It didn't sold to be the grandeur of it, what it need to be. And I think, and again, you get it for $2, like you said. I that one is one I forcibly asked you to pick it up and tell me what you think.
Yeah, like not too long ago, I picked up it was brand new at Walmart for $5. I picked up I'm still playing through it. Star Successor.
I know you're talking about
Sin and Punishment.
Sin and Punishment, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's actually really like odd though, like with the whole Wii U thing, right? Mm-hmm. And when I say that the Wii U, other than like maybe off screenplay, a lot of the potential, a lot of the things that could be done with the gamepad hasn't really been done. And it's crazy because like I think Nintendo fans sometimes try to defend Nintendo so much they insult them, because I'm hearing Nintendo fans now saying, well, they didn't do anything with the Wii remote. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're like, all they did was waggle. I'm like, that's not what like, and it's crazy because it's like I've heard these same people say that the Wii remote did so many crazy things. Like, and it's like now it's like to cover up the Wii U and what it's doing, you try to downplay what the Wii did, and it's kind of weird. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Maybe I'll tell you the person what my videos about coming up, and it talks basically what you just said. I'll tell you the person after, because that guy is one of the people I've got an aggregate with. But I agree with you too. I agree with you. No, you know what? You're right, because look at it. The Wii U remote did a lot of stuff. It did have waggle in there. I mean, not denying it, but it still had cool features in there. I have a Dolphin, like I said, sad to say, I might not pick up Black Ops 3.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, but because of my taste. Not that it's a bad game, it's my taste. I love Black Ops 2 very good because of the campaign. Frank was a crazy ass mofo. And
yeah.
he made that game entertainment with me. And of course, I forgot the guy's best friend who got his face kind of messed up when he said, you know, and it was Martinez. And what other guy was?
The whole story of Black Ops, like I think that's why like Black Ops 3, although I've been checking out like people playing it online, the modes and stuff, I'm pretty sure like unless the story connects in some way and it's a spoiler, so no one's talking about it doesn't. Okay.
People, from what I've read and seen and hear many times, and I got a couple guys who got Black Ops already. I told them just give me a double check, just to make sure. They said the story there's no continuation from Black Ops.
Yeah, that kind of sucks because Black Ops' story from the first one to the second one, I think it's the most entertaining out of all the Call of Duty stories. So the fact it's not really continue kind of sucks, you know. So, but hopefully Black Ops 3 may have its own good story. So who knows? But
they said I'm going again. This is off of my friends playing the game, so I'm again. You know, they said that the story became this. They don't have no invested characters. It's just generic.
Oh,
it kind of maybe going back to your joke of Morris Chestnut and Locke.
You know, like that's a prime example of like people in my comments like, hold that L, Grim. That's not Morris Chestnut. I'm like, are you think I'm serious? Like, really? Like. I don't know what to do. Like,
but I put laugh out loud because I saw what you were talking. I was laughing. I was like,
I made a video like so long ago when I first kind of started doing YouTube, and it was called PS4 Has No Games, and I was sitting there pretending to be an Xbox fanboy, saying like the power of the cloud will save the world or something. I was saying some stupid stuff. People to this day still comment on that video and say, "You don't know what you're talking about. Here's a list of all the PS4 games." And I'm like, I made this video in 2014. You're like giving me list of games that came out 2015, and then on top of that, you know, everybody in the comments, a lot of people in the comments like, "Oh, Grim's trolling. Oh, Grim's, you know, having fun or whatever." And there's still people coming over there think I'm serious. I don't know.
Well, to go what you just said, yes, according to them, they said that they don't. The story has the guys are not engaging and stuff like that. So I don't know. I was gonna wait to buy the game anyway, but if that's the case, from my perspective, again, doesn't mean that the game is not bad. Doesn't mean that the game is good either. I just, from like you said, with preference, and you know, if that story is not there from, you know, because I played them, I got multiple endings where at the Black Ops 2 where you killed him and you want to know why. Okay, I killed him. So why is the White House still in fire and everything? Because he released a YouTube that said tell people blah blah blah, or you didn't kill him and he came back and killed Frank.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
like I didn't know. Like, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but
I forget it.
I forgot the. I honestly forgot every little detail of the game because it's been so long. But I remember in the story, you had to snipe the dude with the bag on his head, and it was your friend, and I shot him in the head. See, I didn't know you can actually shoot him in body parts, and he wouldn't die from it.
That yes, I got that. I got that. That's the third ending. I got all. I've gotten those 3 endings. Yeah. But I did that after I figured out that was it was. When I played through it the second time, I was like, okay, I'll shoot him in the leg. And they're like, you didn't shoot him, and you saw that they pulled away, and you thought that he got shot.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that. And then of course at the end, he comes back, he's like Frank is like, son of a bitch. What the you know, so you know the story was good. My favorite part of that thing was when Frank, that same part that you just said, the epilogue up into that.
Yeah.
When Frank was like, I should have known something was wrong, Mason. I should have known. I said, what the fuck? He just flipped out. He flipped out. I was like, oh my God, that is just awesome. So yeah, for me, if the story's not there, I'm not gonna pick up Black Ops. I'm not the multi-person that way and stuff like that. I ain't got nothing against multiplayer, but that's not my preferred choice of playing games in a way. I like local co-op more than online, except for there's exceptions. I love playing my Splatoon. Don't get me wrong, that got me in there, and I love playing my Smash and Mario Kart. But I've given more hours in Splatoon than I ever thought I would have. Yeah, and here's the thing I was gonna say is that Black Ops, I have this thing called a Dolphin emulator bar that you can hook up to your PC.
Yeah,
and I could play with that. I could use my Wiimote and nunchuck to play Call of Duty on my PC.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and sometimes some of these guys were like, "Dude, what?" So they're like, "You modded the game?" I'm like, "Modded? I ain't modded shit, dude." Because I could point exactly where I need to shoot. It's just as just a little bit slower, but it's accurate just as a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it's just emulating it.
Yeah, you map it to that thing. So that's what I was gonna do with that game. The same thing I'm gonna do with Just Cause 3 when it comes out. I could map it to the remote and nunchuck. So, and you know what? That bar is only $15 at Amazon right now.
Oh, okay.
$15.
I need to try to do that because I've seen people like I know with the not the Dolphin, with the Dolphin emulator, they've done it just when they're emulating Wii games.
That's what it's called, the Dolphin emulator sensor bar.
Oh, okay.
But it's a USB instead of the Nintendo plug, of course. And you plug it up, and then you set up just like any controller. You set up like right now. I'm playing Tales of Zestiria. I'm playing it, and there's gonna be a review because I did a review with Jay Fleming of Gaming at Large, and he talked about some problems with the game in the controllers. And I laughed at him and said, "I don't have those problems." He said, "Why?" Because I'm using the GameCube controller to play this damn game. I'm not using no PlayStation 4 controller because he bought it for the console.
Okay.
Because what happened is the buttons have the click features, of course. All the games has that now that you click and click out and all that stuff. And when you do that in Tales of Zestiria on the PlayStation 4, you lose control of your character and it goes into semi-auto, all that crap, and that can mess up your battle, your fighting system. I don't have that because the GameCube does not have that clicking button, whatever. And I've played most of my Tales games on a GameCube controller, so it feel like comfort food to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing on Steam, so it's just that's just awesome in that regard. Like, and I wish people could do stuff like that. Like, gaming is expensive hobby. If you gotta rent a game, put it back in, and do all that stuff, I have no problem with that because you're trying to get entertainment out of it. It is kind of destroying the market because, of course, they're gonna do more microtransactions and pre-order crap bonus and all that stuff because most gamers return the games, and again, after 3 months, people don't buy the games no more, except for people don't. I'll see people. Let me say it right. Publishers do not receive any new money.
You know what probably help though, is after a certain period of time, like some studios do it real quick. After like they know that the time that people are going to pay 60 for it has gone away, they'll drop it to like 40, 30, some even 20. But some studios, they want to keep their game $60 for forever. That's why people buy it used.
No, you're right in that regard. That could, help out, but that's not the majority of third parties that's doing that. One, and two, if they don't make the sales, example, and I'm saying this right, any of the examples is a fact. Like Tomb Raider with IDOS. Tomb Raider came out. It's a really good game. I played it on PC, but it's a really good game. But sold over 3 million. It was a financial failure. So what they did, definitive version to make up the money because you didn't have to do that much stuff. It was less work to put in it. So that's where you get all this sleepy version of definitive version of what's it? Not sleepy.
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. Yes, I'll make sure. I didn't want to say Watch Dogs by accident, which it was. Sleeping Dogs, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Batman Definitive Edition, all these things because they didn't make the money in the first go round, which is sad. And that's what I'm saying. That's where you get all these crazy microtransactions and everything. And I go with what you said, Grim. Tales of Symphonia, Tales of ST, I'm sorry, had that stupid tier system that Deus Ex had, but Deus Ex scratched it.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. I didn't pre-order that game. I didn't like that they locked away. I did not like that they locked away move sets, which is a integral part of the damn game, and they locked away most of the powerful move sets.
I'm not into the Tales series. I didn't know it was doing all that. All I knew is that there was a tier bonus on Steam, and if enough people pre-order, then you get another Tales game for free.
Okay, the system was if you did the first one, and I did a video about this, that's why I said that, but I did a Deus Ex into it as well too. If the first tier was if you do that, of course you get skins. I don't give a damn about skins. I really don't care. Second was you got unlocked special weapons from the old games. Okay, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the third one was they locked away Mystic Arts, which are the more powerful move, the combination move that you combine with somebody else. Think of it like a Street Fighter Super that they locked away. I was like, what the frig? Are you kidding me? And of course, when you get all the way up to there, then they gave you Tales of Symphonia for the PC, which was one of the best Tales games. I'm like, no, I'm not. But of course, it reached the gold. But I didn't buy it. I stand by speaking my wallet. I didn't buy it because I'm like, that's just shitty. And I said that to Namco when I was over there. Like, don't be doing this. But I know why they do it as a business thing. But I'm telling people, because Mrs. T asks this question, a lot of people ask this question. Gamers are gonna keep on doing this, but you can't kill the good. You can't milk the golden goose all the time because you're gonna kill it sooner or later. That's why people talk about and I've talked about it too. That's why I talk about some of the crash talk, because a lot of game developing studios have been closing down. Some closed last year, some closed the year before. There's not been a trickle effect of not doing that. So since the 7th generation, a lot of studios have been shutting down, and a lot of third parties publishers really don't care to the degree. And a lot of the indie guys, that's what is particular in what they do. And I give all hell to the indie guys to make sure that their game work the way it's supposed to be. But you know, to do what it's supposed to do, unless it catches on fire like a Five Nights at Freddy,
Yeah.
or they have development team that has a skill like I can't believe I forgot that damn game. Shovel Knights. Holy crap. Like Shovel Knights. Shovel Knights, Yacht Club Gay is a good studio, but they didn't do it on themselves. They came from Way Forward, which was also a great studio. So they had that pedigree in them already. But going to the future, I do not see these all consoles. I don't see the 7th gen sales repeating no time soon. PlayStation is not going to get to the 80,000. PlayStation 4 is not going to get the 80,000 unless they go up to like a 10-year bullcrap. And I doubt they're going to last the 10 years like they tried to do with the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be oh man, like I said, I don't understand some of these people. The Nintendo is not gonna get to that point. I mean, when your boy Twilight Bright said it on game, they need to do this to get that hype back. The hype is gone. It's not gonna happen. It's not.
I don't think Nintendo is in the I mean, people say, well, they're handhelds, but even their handhelds, I honestly think their handhelds have become obviously they sell very well and a lot of people buy them, but kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think a lot of people buy those because they're just used to buying it. It's not saying they don't want it, but it's not like, oh man, I'm so excited, new Nintendo handhelds coming out. It's kind of like the norm. People know, oh, I'm gonna buy this machine. It's gonna give me great experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like that hype behind it, I don't think really exists like that. Like a lot of people were hyped for the 3DS. I remember because of the 3D. And once people are kind of established, like, some people weren't feeling it, some people were, then it just became a handheld device that Nintendo had some of the best games on. That was pretty much it.
There are some games that use the 3D effects good. Don't get me wrong, on that too. And I know you know that because, like I said, certain things. But I wasn't, again, maybe it's me. I'm talking for me, matter of factly. I'm not hyped. After Metroid Prime showed me something, the original Metroid Prime on GameCube, I never gained hype for games, really. I could look forward to it, but I never gained hype because most of your hype is people making these assumptions in their head, and it always falls flat. And I went to the Metroid Prime like they're taking Super Metroid, a game that I love, into first-person adventure mode or shooter mode. We know it is, but I need to call it adventure. I was like, how the frig? And I saw the screenshots because back then we had magazines. The internet wasn't strong yet to show the pictures. And I was like, this is, and I was done with gaming. I was like, I went in there like, oh, this is gonna be a horrible game. And that day when I got that game early and I played it, it blew my doors off, dude. I was like, what am I playing? This is an awesome game that I'm playing. And the funny thing that killed so I didn't even cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, yeah, agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. And the thing that killed me was, it's funny that it took Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, let me just say, it took the Activision team, which is Infinity Ward, Treyarch, or Sledgehammer, a long time to figure out how to get jumping in that game to feel intuitive and natural. While Nintendo figured it out on the GameCube, because and it was a simple trick. It was a simple trick. When you jump in Metroid, the screen HUD automatically tilts down so you can see where you're jumping.
It does.
In Call of Duty, the screen stays wherever you lock it to. So when most of these guys jump, it just jumps vertically up in the same frame and jumps back down. So it just looks so hanky and feels so weird. To tell the truth, much time in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the part when you running from the bomb explosions that they called in strike they call in. We had is it Noriega? The guy, the Panamanian, the drug dealer.
Yeah.
And you're running with it. Much time I died at that part when you jump in the building because I couldn't feel the natural of jumping across that damn building, that instant death. Because I got used to, I jumping to see where I'm gonna jump to. with Metroid.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it's just the simplest things that make it.
That was a simple trick, but nobody implemented it in their games. It was just basically run, gun, blah blah blah, and whatever. And that's why I like GoldenEye for the Wii U, because it's not a straight out run and gun. You could do the whole sneak around and do all that stuff. But I think like I said, there's games that people like, and they can say we established that we are part of that weirdos of niche gamers. You like certain games on your Vita that a lot of people just keeps on bashing, which again, and Nintendo fan bashes. I don't see where you guys bashing the Vita. There's great games on there. Oh, we like Nintendo for the exclusive. They're great exclusive on the Vita too.
They definitely are.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about. Hey, like I said, that's why again it goes to what we said at the beginning of this podcast. I know when you talk about Nintendo with weirdos or whatever I know you don't say Nintendo weirdos. You say Nintendo fans. I understand that, but there are weirdos out there.
Yeah,
I know when you say that, you're not talking about me. It's just a general cause because you see more of the talks of the hypocrisy from the Nintendo community. I see that.
Yeah,
sometimes you go ahead. I would say sometimes you do call out names and certain things, and I look at what you said and say, you know what, Grim has a point. Sometimes I could see the other people having a point, like we did with the whole Mr. T thing we did a while ago. So we could see that. Because you've called we know the same amount. You have more subs than me. You've been around YouTube gaming more than me in the regard of that, because you've been in how should I say, because you bring up shoot. Like I said, we have the same amount of subs, not subs, but people looking at Terminator Juice, Mr. T, Active Gamer, stuff like that. But then you have other people that like you said, I don't know. I'm not gonna can't deny it to the degree, but I don't look. There are hypocrites on both sides of this aisle. I wish people could just my ultimate goal. I wish people could just play games and just enjoy what you buy because it's your money. And when people, and which is the video I'm gonna put up tonight. When people are like, oh, we want options and all, they bitch for the options to have all this stuff. Give us the option of making the regular controller. I'll give an example. Making the regular controller Nintendo at the beginning. So, but then you say you want more options. Ain't the Wii U has the most options for controllers that I ever seen in a console other than PC?
It definitely does. It has the most options for controls.
And then when people say, okay, and I understand this gripe. I'm not defending it. I understand it, and I'm pointing out something. When people say, oh, well, the gamepad has, because the certain person said, well, the gamepad don't have that bad battery. I'm like, okay, it has the bad battery. And they don't have, and I like that. And he brought up the Wii controller Pro, the Wii Classic Controller Pro. I'm like, okay, then, you could have just, in most of the games that he's talking about don't need the gamepad. You could have just take your Wii Control Pro that you have, and I know he has it, plug it into your Wiimote and play the game too, and you would have had a longer battery life.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of stuff you can do with that Wii U and have different configurations set up.
And then, of course, you know what I did? For me, what I did was, because Splatoon is a game that Xenoblade. Oh, good God, that game. I tell anybody out there, go out there and buy that high capacity battery. Trust me, is gonna get the high capacity battery. You get about 8 to 9 hours out of that thing. If you play 8 to 9 hours a day, you're playing too much games anyway. Technically, I don't know what you need to do. You need to get some sun. And mostly we are black people, so maybe we need to get less melanin in our skin or something. I don't know. But it's $39 to get the battery. Put it in there. You could get in some places you can get it for $20. And I've put a lot of links on my video about it. Just get it. All you gotta do is take a screw, take it out, install it. If you are Nintendo Wii U user and you have the 3DS, you already have the screwdriver already. Take out the back panel, take out the battery, put in the hyper capacity. You got 8 hours gameplay.
There you go.
Done. Done. Work around it. I just stop bitching and work and be smart and work about stuff about it. And again, if you don't like it, I don't know why you buy it, and why would you bitch about it? I'm not. If I buy. I don't buy. Like I said, I'm not buying the PlayStation 4. I'm not out there bitching. Got tons and tons and videos of why the PlayStation 4 suck. I don't got one that says the PlayStation sucks. But I know that the gamers out there who like what that thing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, but you know what? I'll give it this option right here, King, because they have questions in the chat. And it went longer than I thought it would have been, but I think a lot of people do misinterpret some of your stuff. I granted you that.
Yeah.
And again, you are an analytical person, which is nothing bad. I've said it before the podcast, and I said it now and say it again. I wish you the best of luck in what it does for you, because that's a good thing to have, that you don't be a conformist. Think on your own and do certain things like that. But it does come off the way you say things. It does come off as an asshole move when you say certain things. I'll just tell you the truth, dude. I'll just tell you the truth. But we have questions in the app. Do you want to answer some of the questions and we call it an end? Or if you're busy and you need to go, I'll just answer myself and I'll let it be what it is. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
No, you can go ahead and read out the questions.
Okay. So let me switch to that. And I have to say right now, my family members are on my Wi-Fi, and I like this router now. It's not lagging. Thank you, router. That's a big difference, because I've been hearing you clearly all the time. I know maybe lagging up maybe a little bit, but nowhere close to.
It's a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, but it's nowhere close to the usual stuff when it was like.
Yeah.
You can't hear nothing. Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, when I was doing that, I had most of my windows down except for the Hangout. Now I have my windows up now. I have most of my windows up. I have people on my Wi-Fi. Just if anybody out there needs an option, because I have the top tier of my provider, which is Taiwan Cable. I have the top tier level. So if something's going on like that way, I think best to upgrade to a new router that has that beam, that have that antenna and beam thing. It's $200, $250, $150 at the cheapest I've seen it sometimes. I think it's worth the money. I'm just letting people know if they need to do that. Your answer, what you did, is also a great answer too, with the power line.
Yeah. For
people who wants that. So, but anyway, so the question was, let me see. Let's go with this. This is a question basically you can answer, Grim.
All right.
It said, any games you want to recommend for the Vita? For me, the Touch. For me, it's my Touch, my Katamari, Wipeout, 2048, Rayman Origins Legends, Odious Spare. We already talked about Muramasa, and Dragon's Crown, which you talked about that. What other games would you recommend for the PS Vita? Since I don't have a console, I'll let you take that. That's why I say that.
I recommend what is it? I got it over here. Freedom Wars. Freedom Wars is kind of like a Monster Hunter style game. It has a unique way you fight though. It's kind of like God Eater meets and Monster Hunter. You know, well, Monster Hunter and God Eater are similar, but you have this whip that's pretty cool, and I use the attack whip, so I can like latch myself on to the gigantic enemies, which are like gigantic robots or something, and you can sit there and cut off their limbs. So you know, in Monster Hunter, if you hit a certain side of a monster, limbs will pop off. Well, you can literally get on the monster and like saw off their body parts. So that's pretty cool. I like that about the game. But if you like Monster Hunter, you'll like that game. There's other games that's similar to Monster Hunter, like Soul Sacrifice. That's fun, and a lot of indie games. Like I enjoy Binding of Isaac a lot on there too. So there's a lot of good games to get on the Vita. But
okay, I just wanted you to point out some for so people could a couple games that you think that's. Because he looked at the person who asked the question, has a Vita. He just wanted to know if there's anything else out there,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And sometimes just like you said with example again, we talk about Red Steel too. That I think I recommend that to you because I think that's a game I think that you will like because of it does something weird. Now, if you don't like it, then I can't tell you, but I think you would like it because there's no game that does what that game does. But for that question, who asked that question, I just wanted, since you have the console, what games that you have that you would recommend to them? So that's cool that you pointed it out. And technically speaking, I might hit you back up once in a while when I get my Vita.
Oh, okay.
So I could get some games because, like I said, I might like Nintendo's my preferred console of choice, but if it's something out there that makes me think that it's worth it, if there's more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, then I'll buy the console. I don't see it in PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Doesn't mean they're not good games. Because right now, I would like to. I played Scalebound when I was a Platinum, and that was good. And I might get an Xbox later down the road because Quantum Bait looks like a great idea. I don't know how it works out, but I like the idea of it. The trailers, how to show it.
Oh, okay.
Because I played a lot of Prince of Persia: Sand and Time back in the 6th gen, and I like that game. So the whole thing of you will freeze it and move debris out of the way.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And Scalebound is basically Bayonetta for the Halo, really, or Devil May Cry for Xbox, I should say. So that looks pretty cool. And of course, I'll say right here, I'm with you. I hope that the video you talk about Horizons for PlayStation. I hope that's not a get out of free card.
Yeah, like a lot of people were getting mad at me. They're like, "It's a demo. They probably just did it so that he wouldn't die." And I'm like, "Okay,
but
that's great."
I'm gonna say you didn't say it that. You just say, "I hope this don't happen."
Yeah, but they don't hear that part.
Okay, all right. True. Okay. Anderson, I'll ask this question to you next time. This is a real business question. I'm kind of a little business out to a point right now. Okay, he's talking about a Trans-Pacific Partnership tradeship. I'm like, oh Lord. Okay, you know what? I'll let that go a little bit different. So let me see. Let's go to our next one. Have you? The question is, have you played Wario Land Shake It by chance? And yes. I played it. Okay, you played it. What do you think about it?
That's one of my favorite games on the Wii.
Okay, I played the game. Is a quirky game. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games where the people who develop the game know. I like when developers take the quirkiness, kind of like a Bayonetta or something like that, or Devil May Cry, Bayonetta. I'm trying to be even-handed. Not Crash Bandicoot, because like Ratchet and Clank is coming out next year and stuff. I like when developers take that persona that game has developed and turn it into a great turn that as an existential game. Like we know Wario is a greedy motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So to do the shaking and all that stuff and take his power, that was pretty cool. I liked it too. And if you ain't got it, I say, hey, go ahead and check it out. It's a pretty good game. Me, like I said, I always look at other videos before you do research before you buy any game. I recommend games, but I always say also check the videos too because my taste is different from your taste. Yep. It just is. It just is. This is just a simple question. No, I don't have no insights in Star Fox Zero because Star Fox Zero, basically because they're doing certain things. Like I stated before, Star Fox was ready to go. When I was there and I played it, everything was good. The developers happening. I don't know what they're gonna do with the multiplayer online. If they're gonna do a multiplayer co-op online where you could do a co-op moves and stuff, that would be great. That I'm 100% behind. I don't know if they're gonna do it within 5-6 months. 6 months. Let's just be. I don't know if they're gonna redo the game to do all that stuff in 6 months. But if they're gonna do what everybody's asking about, the whole arrowing fights and stuff that was on the DS and Star Fox 64, that's boring. Because all everybody's gonna do is just flip, barrel roll, flip, U-turn, flip, barrel roll. That's all they're gonna do. That's not fun to me. So I'll let. So that's. I mean, if they do it, they'll do it, and so we'll go with that. Let me
Yeah, a
see.
lot of people want it too.
Yeah, but then Graham, let's be 100% positive. I'll give you 100% honesty on this. If that's what they do, that not the co-op thing like I talk about, the other part of like they did with Star Fox Command or Star Fox 64, which is repetitious and really repetitious in a bad way and boring because all games are repetitious, just the way you execute it. How much you want to bet them same people who said they're gonna put up videos about it sucks?
They probably will.
And that will contribute to what you always put with your Nintendo hypocrisy. So that, you know what? That gives you new material. So when February comes around, I'll be looking at Grim's channel like, yeah, oh, well, Grim, I can't argue. You're right, 100%. There's some more hypocrisy right there again.
Yep.
Let me see. This is Triple M. Let me see. I beg to differ, Ellen DeGrasse, cause she did it with Wii U Skylanders last year before. Oh, okay. Basically, we talked about when we talked about Oprah with the Wii, and he's bringing to say I beg to differ with because Ellen DeGeneres did the same thing with the Wii U with Skylanders last year, and it didn't do that much. My point. My answer to that, and I don't know if you want to, I'll say my answer. Maybe you might agree, might disagree. My answer to that is, you got to compare also the time period. Back then, they didn't have there was nothing that the Wii U and the DS did. There was no console that did what they did. Yeah, that's why it took off.
Then you're almost comparing Oprah to Ellen, and they ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? As in popularity.
Well, they ain't the same at the same time period either, because Ellen right now is one of the number one daytime hosts right now because Oprah's left the market.
Yeah.
Back then, Oprah was, of course, queen, king, whatever you want to call her. So she had it. But I guess I'm just saying, when I said Ellen, I was just showing the multiples of the advertisement that was free.
And you gotta also remember, like, a lot of the game that they were showing was the game that you got with the console. And most people that was talking about the Wii was talking about the Wii and Wii Sports. You know, this, like, the game, like Wii Sports did a lot for the Wii.
Yes.
It literally showed you, like, when people, if you saw a Wii and you were like, that looks stupid, or I don't know, how would I be able to play this? Then you don't even have to buy nothing. You just buy the console. It'll show you how this is used. You know, it'll show you exactly what to do with this. And I don't think the Wii really had that. Like, people would say Nintendo Land was that game, but I really don't think so.
I wouldn't. I agree with you with that but it's also a thing that Nintendo has a problem too with, and that's Nintendo's problem. Most of their games, unless you sit down and play them and get them, get them in your hands to play most of them. I'm not saying all, most, because Splatoon, when I got to mess with it, it popped in my head and it got me into playing Splatoon. It just felt great to me, in my regards, you know. And and some of the, like, again, my sister Katie, she don't like shooters at all. At all. No ifs, ands about it. She don't like shooters. She don't play shooters. She don't give a damn about shooters. You say shooters, it's like her A is turned off, and she's the same age as you, Grim. She's like, whatever. I don't care. But for some reason, Splatoon comes out and she plays it. She's, chick already got $400 in the damn game. It just talked to her. I don't think she's a Nintendo fan just like I am, but it's just something that clicked to her when she played it, because she was thinking, I don't think I like it. You know, here's the next thing. I'm a Zelda fan, and she pulled out Hyrule Warriors. She's like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know if I'll get that or not. And she was like, yeah, oh man, I could see that becoming a badass game. And I didn't see it. The first trailer didn't really reveal, and I was proven wrong from between me and her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we played hours in that game. We still ain't freaking beat most of that damn maps on that. That game is infinite with them damn maps. Good God. And here's the thing that I like. about it. The gamepad, I did use the feature in Call of Black Ops, did it too, that I had fun with it. And I mean, I know you know about some of this, but I like that I could have had a gamepad and play my game and had to scream to myself, but she used the big screen TV to play the other part of the game. And we were nowhere close to each other on that big ass map.
Yeah.
She took the south end, I took the east end. We communicated together locally, and we had fun. Nobody, again, a next feature that a lot of people don't talk about as much, except for people like me or certain people. But I've done that with Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 on the Wii U has the same feature. My friend was playing with, he's a dual stick guy because he played Xbox, and I used the nunchuck and remote, and he had to scream to himself the gameplay screen, and he liked it. He's like, oh man, whatever. He didn't buy a Wii U, but he said one of these days he's gonna pick it down the road when it gets a little cheaper, which is cool because it's his money. But he did like the feature of that, and like, oh man, this is awesome, man. And we played co-op and we enjoyed it. And that's one of the things that's my biggest follow with Splatoon. They took away the local co-op. That's something that was I wish they had in there. They took away the local co-op, and there are ways to fix it. But I am not gonna hit Nintendo over the head, not because I'm a fanboy, as people would say. It's because it's the first. This is their first jump into this game. This is the first iteration. The second iteration, if they don't do it, then we could say some stuff more. Mario had problems when he came out, the original Super Mario Brothers, but they made it great in Super Mario Brothers 3. 2 was different. 2 was different because 2 was different for two reasons. One, we got Doki Doki Panic in America, and in Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan. Japan was right, okay, because I've seen people try to play. Even my sister played Super Mario Brothers 2 Lost Levels, and people cursing the hell out of that game. That game was too tough. But it's just one of those things that Nintendo have a problem with. It needs to pick up, and in the pick up a play, it don't translate well in commercials.
Yeah,
I'll say that way. But going to what you said right there, what you just compare with Skylanders is apples to oranges in a way. I'm not downing your question, sir. It's just that Skylanders, blah blah blah, yes, but it's not the same back then when it was something really a new thing, that a fad, as you want people want something to call that. And I like that you said it on some of your videos, Grim, with the whole gimmick thing. Everybody got this negative connotation with gimmick.
Yeah.
Which every console uses a gimmick.
All a gimmick is trying to do is entice you to buy something. I mean, not really.
Yeah.
It's not negative, positive.
Yeah. Why everybody's cool with this blue light for the PlayStation 4 and the share button? That's a gimmick. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it good, but that connotation, negativity to it and stuff like that. But again, some gamers. Let's just leave it at that. Let me see. Okay. Well, they asked a question because it did been on my podcast. They asked this router is a big step up to what you used last time. I'm like, I know. I know, man. I spend the money, man. If you want to be the boss, you got to spend the money. The best way I could say it. If you have a car, you want to race with the big boys, you got to spend the money for that turbo, the supercharger, or the tires, or whatever, to get the grip or all kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thank you. It is a big improvement. I'm happy. Hopefully, when I got 4 or 5 people, it doesn't lag out too much either. Next question is, let's see. Do you and the question basically to me, do you think there are gonna be any more Nintendo 3D exclusive games in the works? They are, and they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out next year. A lot of I'm not. Let's put it this way. One of the things I don't like, and that I'm privileged to know certain knowledge is, I'm not. That's why I don't set up my site as some of the people, some of the Nintendo people. I've tried to tell them don't do that, but they don't listen. So you know what? Whatever. I have privileges to know certain things, but I don't want to be a news site, a news channel. Let's put it there, a news channel. I like people to enjoy the surprise of this. You know much people will go. You know much people. If that damn stupid nowadays, people now are so busybody. Oh, I went into the metadata and find this. I went in the metadata to find that. Don't you have a life? Is that if that's not your job? I could see, then you need to have a life. But if that's not your job, what's going on with you, dude? Seriously. Oh, Ryu's gonna be a part of Smash Brothers. I saw it in the metadata. You spoiled it for people who was like, oh man, that was awesome. You know how to, I mean, Grim, you've seen the trailer with Twilight Princess at E3, right?
Yeah.
You saw people went like superstar. I like to see people do that. To like go in, and that's go crazy and like, oh my god, and just like enjoy stuff. I don't like to spoil stuff for people. And I'm not, Anderson, I'm not bashing your question. That really, I just want you to be surprised. I will do stuff like this off air. I want to do it on the channel because I want people to be surprised who don't want to be about it. That's just the way I look at it. So let me see. Next question is: Have have some people been spoiled by Black Ops? Well, kind of. How people been spoiled by Black Ops 2? That this one might not be probably better. If the story is what it is, I've been spoiled. I'm one of them. Like you said, Grim, I like the story. I'm sorry.
The Black Ops 3, I think the Black Ops games as a full package gave you everything. Gave you the extra mode. It gave you the campaign that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I mean Black Ops 3 may still have a decent story, but it probably is not going to be as good as Black Ops 2 and 1.
But it goes to what he said, because of 2 and 1, are we spoiled and we will look at it negatively? And I kind of think we are.
Yeah.
Because again, when you after you experience something good, and that's why a lot of I think I don't know how to work it out, but like Battlefield that's coming out. When you experience so much things that you could have done in the original Battlefield 10 years ago, it's kind of you kind of look at you do kind of look at it negative, like, wow, they took this out, that out, this out, that out. That's kind of weird. Why did? Of course, they went for more graphic fidelity, but it still took away from what the game was 10 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, so with Black Ops, again, I'm waiting for me personally. I'm waiting to my friends to play Black Ops and tell me what it is. The guy, because the people I know, they also like the Black Ops campaign. So if they said it's a drop, then that might make me feel I don't want to pick it up no time soon. I might pick it up later on, but as to get it now, I don't know. And I am spoiled to answer your question. That spoiled me to play those games. Let me see. Yeah, well, of course, I know that one. Okay, I know it's obvious, but seeing how we got Earthbound Beginnings and how Sin and Punishment Star Successor was made for the 64 originally sold well enough on the Wii Virtual Console, is it safe to say that digital sales matter more than people think? I'll let you got the question, Grim.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, digital sales definitely matter a lot, but do they matter as much as people think? Most people I'm around will even say digital is the future. So most people I'm around think digital is the end all be all. I would disagree with that statement, but yeah, from my understanding, digital is very important.
Okay, for my answer for my answer with that, because a lot of people are asking why the digital price is not it's a question that people ask many times. So I'm related to this when they say why the digital price is not a part of is not cheaper because there's no physical shipping, blah blah blah. It's not cheaper than what you call it than physical media. The reason is plain and simple. The percentage of games that sell is still brick and mortar. And if you drop the price for digital as a mainline game in most cases, and Walmart and Amazon and Walmart has already, and you could go check. there's been articles, and also they've said it in their IR investor meetings things again. That's the next link that I gotta put up. If you wanna know more about that, people hit me up and I'll give you the link to that, cause that's whatever. But they've said before, if you drop the price on digital if it's not a sale, then you gotta drop the price for us as well too, and that's gonna eat into mostly third parties' profits. So that's why that's why what do you call it, physical media is still important to a degree now, and digital sales matter to a lot of the indie guys because that's a good way to get their name out there, because they don't have to pay for making a disc and blah 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 and all this stuff, or be like how Yacht Color Games did, or Free Forward with DuckTales. Make the digital game. It got renowned praises, and it got the sales, and once the sales gets in, then make a physical copy, which they doing now. So that's the way it's going on. But digital does make sense, because like I'll say it here because a lot of people I'll say it here right now. I know one of your do you call them? I know you don't say nemesis, but you do some videos. When I first started listening to you, Grim, you do a lot of videos from Doc Trick. So I don't know what you call it, but I'll say right now, and you go to Platinum Games Japan, and you can look for the link, or you could go to Platinum Games US. You just platinumgames.com and see this. But his Operation Platinum was a success. They have passed 1 million.
That's cool.
That is, yeah, because because the digital, like I bought Bayonetta digitally. What happened is, and I'll break the algorithm down for a lot of people. Now, if you go find the physical sales, I know VG charts, and everybody always says it, so we know it's not accurate. We know that, but what Nintendo's attachment rate to their games is 20% digital sales. So if you can find a good physical number, multiply it by 20%, add it together, you get a better approximate of that game.
Yeah,
and that just giving you how it is, because that's the Nintendo have said it in IR pages. Reggie Fils-Aimé said it on live interviews. What the attachment rate for the digital games. And again, half of my games on Wii U is digital, and half is physical. It depends. If the game is that great, I'll buy digital. Speak with my wife to give Nintendo more money. If it's something that I'll take up together, good, I'll do that. And you know what? I want to dip in a quick about this, because you said this many times, and I'm with you with that too. Nintendo fans say third party. I differentiate myself again with that statement, with the whole third party thing.
Yeah, what makes me laugh is when Nintendo fans say third-party games suck. I love Shovel Knight, and I'm like, the heck do you think that is? Like,
oh, we need to do that. We do need to do something to add to that too. But yeah, that's well, they consider it as indie. Some of these guys are going to be that pain in the ass about it.
I mean, whether it's indie or not, the party, it's still third party. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you say, but I'm gonna do a video about this maybe next year when I got more time, whatever. I don't know, but because Christmas time is coming, it's hectic. But I bought third-party games for my Wii U and enjoyed them. Like I said, Rayman Legends, Batman Arkham City, Origins. That's what I meant to say. Origins, Armor City, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I forgot what other, of course. I got mother because I can't see from here, but I bought third-party games to me it was the value. If I know it's gonna be a bad port of not a DLC, I don't care for that. Bad port of it's glitchy and broken, I'm not buying it. I'm just nah. And I think people should be doing that. But you know what? Don't give me a half-ass port. Sonic Boom? No. I'm not buying that. I bought Lost Worlds, but I didn't buy that one. I'm not gonna buy Watchdog because it had also some. I don't care for the graphics, but it has some glitches in that thing that I was like, I saw it too much that I'm not buying it. Cool, I'll let it go. So stuff like that. But next thing that we pointed out, and I have the video set up about this. Hey, people, I put this post on there, and I think you did an LOL on it when I said it amazes me that these gamers who think who show their knowledge don't know the difference between first party, second party, and third party.
I remember that post.
People, because a lot of people are saying, the reason I said it because a lot of people, they were like, oh man, kind of like what you just said with the whole indie, the third party thing, or people would say, oh man, you need to get that band, you need to get that Wonderful 101. That's a cool third party exclusive. That's not a third party exclusive. That's a second party. Nintendo owns the rights, the IP rights to Wonderful 101.
Yep.
Platinum just makes the game, but they own the rights to it. So if Nintendo wants to make a next game and Platinum's on board, they could do that. If you work in-house, and most people know that the first party games again, like Rare. Rare Rare makes Dance Central. Dance Central. God, they got a harmonics. I'm sorry. Connect Sports and stuff like that. That is a first party game for Microsoft. Stuff like that. People think like Bloodborne for PlayStation. That is not. That right there, right now, is not a first party game. I'm not sure because I gotta look it up. Like this, if Sony owns the rights to Bloodborne, then it would be. But I don't know if they do. No. Okay, I'll break it down. First party games, and this is going from investment meetings and where they talk about that. So I'm going from what okay, let me put it this way. You know how when you read certain things, they make sure they do a definition, or like if you read insurance, what this word means in the contract and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. So they do that for investment meetings, so investors to understand it. So this is the definition they use. Like EAD, I give a definition and an example. If the company owns the IP and is making the game in-house that is a part of the console, like again, Rare, Nintendo EAD, good God, SOE became something else, but Sony Computers still owns some game developers as well. It's not off the top of my Guerrilla Games, like with Horizon, I think. Certain way. That could be, those are first party games because they're not playing an outside source to outsource the game. That's a first party. Mario, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Now, a second party game is if I only own an IP, or do I fund the game, but a next company develop it outside of it.
Yeah.
Like I could give even with a Mario game, Mario Golf. That's a second party game because they own the IP and they fund it, but Camelot makes the game, and Camelot still makes games for other things. They make game for mobile. They don't make a Mario game for mobile.
Yeah.
So that's that. In that definition, they made when the developer Game Freak made Tembo the Badass Elephant. It's not on the Wii U, but they are a second party to Nintendo because Nintendo owns the IP of with Pokemon and fund the game with Pokemon. So that's the second party. So again, with Dub 104 101, Nintendo owns the IP, it's Platinum Games, and they fund the game for Platinum, and Platinum makes the games. Third party is basically they're no loyalty brands to no console. They just make the game. If it's exclusive, it's basically exclusive by money, by they gain exclusive rights to not the IP, but the time crap, which is getting ridiculous now, because that's the next argument fanboys use. Well, we're gonna get 1 year earlier than you. Big whoop de freaking do. The game's gonna come on my console next year.
Yeah.
What is you? Oh, I played a year before you. It's still what? Yeah, you played Arkham Knights a year before me. And where's this big dick contest come from? I don't know. But that's how they go with exclusive. Like you said in your video, like they have exclusive features with the graphics, with the PS4, with have that or the DLC packs and stuff like that exclusively. But Activision don't Activision still makes games for Nintendo, which is Skylanders. They do the Skylanders version. They still make games for PlayStation and Xbox, whatever. They're not beholden to the console.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between, that's the definition from them, how third parties go in that regard and all that way. Because like there's certain I said, oh crap, like Insomniac. Insomniac was, everybody knows most of Insomniac games were made for PlayStation, but they're not a first party studio because they made Sunset Overdrive with Microsoft.
Yeah, I think pretty much every game they made for Sony is second party. Matter of fact, I don't know what Crash Bandicoot would be considered, because Crash Bandicoot was a PlayStation exclusive, but at the time, well, it was never owned by Sony, and Naughty Dog wasn't owned by Sony either.
No, you're right.
So I guess that's third party exclusive, because it was owned by Universal.
No. I would say second party, because PlayStation did fund it.
They did. I thought Universal funded the whole thing. Oh.
Not at the beginning. If you want to go time, let's go like the first Crash Bandicoot back in the day. Mm-hmm. Sony funded it because they wanted exclusive to show off the PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
So they funded it, but when it came later on, we have Crash Bash and all that stuff, and Crash had a crazy head style, and it's been the IP's been bounced around to Universal and Activision and all that stuff. Then he goes to what you just said, yes. But at the beginning, it started off as a second party because Sony was looking for, which is everybody was doing that. I come up with this new console. I still need games to people come buy my console, but something different from the others. Just like Street of Rage was for Genesis, while Final Fight was for Super Nintendo. Everybody likes brawlers. Hey, come over here. We got Street of Rage. Hey, we got Final Fight. Hey, we got Marvel Adventures over the Super Nintendo. Hell, we got Golden Axe over here.
Yeah.
So they were looking things to make people enticed to go buy the console. At that, so not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I'm just giving you a time frame of what happened to it. At the time, it was that, and then it alluded to that because Spyro was the same way too. But Spyro right now is a third party now because Activision owns it.
Yeah,
and they use it for Skylanders and stuff now. But it was an exclusive game to PlayStation, and it played Spyro itself, not this crap. You know what? Let me not be judgmental. Not crap. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that kind of person. But now they put Spyro in the background of the other game of Skylanders. So
Yeah, it used to be Spyro Skylanders, now it's just Skylanders. Yeah.
It's just Skylanders. But I think if you grew up in the PlayStation, everybody knows Spyro the Dragon. Just Spyro the Dragon. It is what it is. And so that's how it changed to that degree too. So I just wanted to explain that out because a lot of people also get that stuff mixed up. And I'm going to do a video about that in a more definite way of putting the examples and stuff up there. But I've seen it. I only put out that post because certain person was saying things of like, if the person had the arrogance, then I wouldn't say nothing. But they have that arrogance of, yeah, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like he was saying how, you want to make sure what they get challenge these guys, but these guys got, they're, I don't know, dick in the air or something. I don't know. So it's just that kind of weird ass way. Let me see. The next thing will be, good God, dude, don't be asking so much damn more questions. Stop right now. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to catch up because I basically don't. Sometimes I use the select thing. Sometimes I don't. I just scroll down and keep on going. Let me see. That's a good question. I don't know if you play this, King, but he asked, "Is Deus Ex Human Revolution DX on the Wii U the definitive version? Have you played that game? Not. I don't know. I'm just asking the question."
Deus Ex on the Wii U. I didn't play it long enough to see all the bells and whistles, but Mr. T has told me a lot about it. He told me about, like you said, voice messages to people and stuff like that. I mean, is it the definitive version? I have to play it more, but see, that's a tricky game because that game is not a bad game, but that's one of those mini games that I actually enjoy, but I end up just stop playing it. I
Okay.
don't know why. Like I don't. It's one of those games. Like I end up playing something else that I like way more. It's not bad. It's just I don't know. I just stopped playing it. So
Okay, that's cool. I to me, if and I've seen the same thing. Mrs. T said the same thing. I don't. Do I say the definitive version in that for that game? I don't know. I can't give. I can't give you a definitive answer.
mhm.
Because it did took a little. It did took a graphical hit and frame rate hit sometimes. So I can't say compared to what it was, whatever. But it had some extra bells and whistles in there. Does it covers up for some of the problems? I don't know. A game I could let me put this way. A game I could give you a different that's on all three consoles that came out. I could surely give you that is a definitive version was because they did it first. They know that it's the mistake and fixed everything was Razor's Edge.
Oh, okay.
When Ninja Gaiden 3 came out, it got deadpan. They took away the gore. They took away the blood. They took away they took away the weapons. You had one weapon, and then you had just this one instant nimpo. That's what it that and that's why it got deadpan. Basically Ninja Gaiden 3, which was on Xbox and Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. So the Namco came around. Not Koei Tecmo was okay. Say okay, you know what? Let's put back in the blood. Let's put back this. Let's put back that. Blah blah blah. All that stuff. Whatever it is, and put in an impo and put in different impos and put in the different weapons and stuff. And that was 10 times better than what it was on the other consoles because they put stuff in there and they did a graphical hit or frame rate difference or none of that junk. It was just that I could say is a definitive version. And sadly, badly enough that the game worked so great that they try to recopy it, but the damage had already done. People didn't buy it. They try to redid it on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. People was like, that game stuck on PlayStation 3. I'm not buying it again.
Yeah.
So just as an example, a definitive. There are a couple games that are definitive version, as some that are cool. Like we just talked about the whole Rayman Legends, as PS Vita got a great port. It was made for the Wii, but you still got a great port that you feel what we felt on the Wii U and the Wii U. They just have the visuals because of the OLED screen.
Yeah.
So it works out that way. So yeah. That's something I could talk. That's like I said, I can't give a definitive answer on that one. So next one is should we not expect a GameCube Virtual Console this generation? My answer to you is, and Triple M, you basically know the answer because I did a long. This is one of those things where I did. I know. I think at that time, Grim, you wasn't following me on Google Plus.
I don't believe so.
No, at the time when he asked this question earlier this year, and at that time I don't think you were following me. I really don't. This is one of those things where I give, like you asked, like you said, you asked the question, "Where's my proof?" Where I could say stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a post with the links and everything, how it works, how the sixth generation up, how it changed the market. And the reason I'm saying is, like for me in my business, it became such a moneymaker now that you have to sign deals, royalties, and stuff like that. To make a great example right now would be basically the backwards capability with Xbox 360. I mean, God dang it, Xbox One.
Yeah,
I know it's Xbox One. That's the next thing. I'm surprised that thing worked out so great because the Wii U is a bad name. I hate the Xbox One because every time I think Xbox One, I always think the original damn thing instead of what it is now. But if the Xbox guys cannot get all the people who have contracts in that game to sign off, they're not gonna put that game in the backwards library. Like like if Nintendo wants to do Need for Speed Carbon, the game I worked on, and put it in the virtual console, they have to go to EA, and then EA gonna have to go out to all the people who are contractors. Like I was one of them, and say, "Hey, Liger, you did this. I need you to sign this off so we could put this on thing." That means I gotta. It's other two things. Am I gonna get money, or do I gotta just sign my rights completely away? And some people would do that, and some people won't sign the rights completely away. They say, "Hey, I need about 10 cents for every sales on the game or something like that. I need to do that." And that's what from since the sixth generation on now, that's what's been happening. It didn't happen before because it was not a money-making market back then, because publishers in the eighth generation, good grief, in the 90s, devs were their own publishers. Like Midway and everything, those guys were their own publishers for the game. Acclaim, all this stuff. And then when people say money was coming up to a cost, and THQ say, hey, Acclaim, you can work with us, and Midway, we'll adapt you into this and all, draw the range, and we will fund you all the money to do stuff. But back then, that's why I think games were less messed up and had its own uniqueness, because developed like King, if you made a game and you're gonna be your own publisher, you're not gonna bullshit with your game.
Yeah.
You're gonna take your time and make sure that product is good, and then you publish it and hope that everything works out. Now you have people who have hundreds of millions of dollars that invest into you, and sometimes they're gonna say, hey, sometimes you have an idea to I want to put this in the game. They say, how much is that gonna cost? $2 more million. I don't want it. And I've seen that happen many times at board meetings. People have these cool ideas, and the publishers just like hack them away. So I don't see there are going to be a virtual console, but I don't think it's going to be the plethora. Just think of it as the virtual GameCube virtual console, just as the Xbox virtual console or the backwards capability. You're not going to get all the games that you really want.
Yeah,
it's just that some's going to come out. Some of them, I'm going to tell you right now, they are working on HD versions of some of those GameCube games in the past. So is it what you're going to like? We'll see. And I'll leave it at that. Let me see.
Hey, Lager.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go with one more. Did you check? They're asking about Henry Hathaway. Did you figure it out?
Yeah, I know what game that is. I remember seeing that when I was on when the DS was out.
Okay, and he basically was asking the question about that. So I said I'll let that go. I just wanted to see if you found about it, and Triple M basically say thank you for coming on the podcast and understanding where you're coming from, dude. He's just giving you a thank you for that.
Oh, thanks, no problem.
So I'll let you go, man. It's all cool. Thank you for coming on, King. I mean, I just wanted to get some of your stuff out that people misunderstand certain things that you said, and let you. Like I said, I'm not speaking for all Nintendo fans. Like I said, I know you won't talk about me when you say certain Nintendo hypocrisy either. Because, like you said 100%. If you're not talking about me, I'm not gonna make a video. I'm not gonna bitch to you. Because all the people who respond back is like, "Oh, you hurt me. I'm gonna say that." Oh.
Yeah. A lot of communities fall into that for some reason. Like if you're not doing what I'm mentioning, then it's not you. Then
It's a simple concept, but again, I think gamers are getting not smarter and smarter nowadays.
Yeah,
that's my thing. But you know what? Thank you for joining me, man. And I didn't mean to take out this much chunk out of your time.
No, that's good, man.
Like I said, and it was good to have a conversation with you one-on-one. We were trying it in the past when you asked for Nintendo gamers. I was going to just speak, a matter of fact, on my behalf of what I've seen and with my topics. But yeah, I think we touched a lot of topics here, and I think people would understand. So my listeners who listen to me, I think, understand where you're coming from. And if you join the podcast, you're basically a acquisitive person that you want to ask certain questions and things. So thank you. And like I said, I did have to. Like I said, your response, a question you asked on the thing. Did you find out if Fallout has the frame rate drops and stuff that you asked in the community?
Oh, they do. Oh, I know. I'm watching people play it. It's dropping.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like I said, no game is perfect. You
Yeah, no,
find
no,
what you
like this is very like anybody that's played Fallout 3 or New Vegas at launch, even now, they know that these games have issues. So
but we know that, but you're still gonna don't worry, don't worry.
yeah,
We're gonna answer for it. Hey, if the game comes out and good, it's good. I mean, I don't know. The next generation is here with 8 gen. There's some problems that there's major problems in it. I wish we could fix, but it looks like gamers don't care about it. They just want to brag and follow the trends and everything. So I'm cool being a niche audience. I'm alright playing my More Masters Demon Blade, or as Grim plays his Vita, where everybody's bashing the Vita for being horrible and all this stuff. Whatever. I don't know why you guys are proving to somebody else what you buy. Just buy it and enjoy it. Done. So, anyway, man, thanks a lot, man, for joining in. All right, like I said, I'm gonna finish up maybe 2 more questions because what they had, and then I'll bother. But you can drop out. Thank you for joining me, and like I said, guys, check out his King Grimpachi's channel when you got a chance. He has a couple good videos on there. Insight. He's a certain gamer that, again, I said it before, and I will say it again. He is analytical, so go with it with that mindset. Because sometimes when he trolls, he's not being. People perceive it as serious, and sometimes when he's serious, people perceive it as trolling. Because the way he asks his question, and sometimes you have a deadpan delivery. You know that too.
yeah, and that's just hey, that's me. I can't. You know, I'm not acting. I'm not. You know, I'm gonna put on a facade or something. You know. So, but anyway, thanks for having me on, man. Hope you have a rest of a good show, man.
No problem, man. And like I said, you're welcome to. I know sometimes if I miss you, it's because at that time I was trying to keep the lag down when you wanted to join in.
Yeah.
And you asked them the question or whatever. I just couldn't. I didn't want to open up the windows.
Oh, okay.
But you're welcome to join. Now that I got it look like I said, my router's working 100% perfectly now. So as usual, you're always welcome to join the Endcast, bro.
Thank you.
All right, man. Catch you later.
All right.
All right. I will say, let me see. Finish off. Let me just finish off a couple of the oh, thank you. Yeah, I can say. I mean, okay, so yeah, it's cool. It's cool. So, anybody, there was people who wanted to join the cast and stuff like that, and I thank you guys. You know, I got calls in to join in and stuff. I just wanted to have a one-on-one with Grim. It's been a while. He asked the question a long time ago. I wanted to take him up on his challenge or his question, but he couldn't make it twice, and this third time I'm happy he made it in so we could get the matter of fact. Again, me and him don't have never have, because I've quoted it in my videos too. I don't have no problems with Grim, and actually Grim don't have no problems with me. We both have, like I said, as we started, we had a conversation before we started. There's some things we're not gonna agree on, but because I've seen from both sides of things, but it's understandable, and I'm not gonna bash nobody over the head with that stuff. Now, I do have a video that's coming out, and the video is pointed to certain people, really, but it's to a certain person, and it's gonna sound animated because at the time when I was watching the video, I was a little peed off. I'm not gonna lie, and it's basically going to start my new series of videos called LBC, and what LBC is loss of brain cells. I think everybody has watched something, read something, heard somebody said something. You're like, what the did you just said? And the reason I'm going to cater to next level is these gamers, YouTubers, most I think it's like gamers, YouTubers, these YouTubers, right, are the people who don't back down. If you ask them that, hey, what you just said is stupid and idiotic, but don't come in with, hey, what you said is just that's kind of messed up, man. You sure about that? You cool? They will come with you with the rage and vigor, and then you just want to, and they don't, even though you prove them facts, they still want to argue with you. Kind of like when there's basically like I talked to Grim about with the whole first party, second party, third party thing. I talk, they're supposed to like, well, that's not how you look at it. I'm like, dude, the definition is in the IR pages of all three companies. That's what they stated. Well, I'm like, I provide you the facts, tangible, physical fact that you can read with your eyes, and you argue with me still. And you're just a regular YouTuber. You're not even like what you have more subs than me. Happy for you. I'm not saying that, but geez. So the LBC is just when you say something stupid, and these are the YouTubers who just don't back down, and I'm gonna call out. But it's not only YouTubers either. It's other game sites. It's gonna be articles. It's gonna be a lot of things and stuff. So I'm gonna check out that video. It should be up tonight or tomorrow morning. And then it's a long intro, and the other videos after that should be shorter, way shorter. But this one's about 26 minutes. I'll give you that. It's long. I'm not gonna deny it, but I will get the point. I just wanted to make sure I got my point across with what that person said. And I've said it many times before. Look. There's everybody who always asks for these options and features and everything else, and you should have this and you should have that. You have the ultimate option at your fingertips, people. If the console doesn't entice you, and you think let's use Nintendo. Oh, they're too gimmicky. They don't have third parties. They don't have online infrastructure. Okay, and you pointed out obvious things. Okay, so why would you buy the console? I just want the games. Then if you like the games for what it is, why don't you just buy the console for the games and say that? Oh, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. It always breaks down to that, and nobody has never disputed me on that fact. If you don't like something, don't buy it. Why is that so hard? Seriously. Why is that so hard? But other than that, check out, like I said, I'll finish up the video. It should be up. Also, I did a game review with Jay Fleming of Gamers at Large with Tales of Hysteria. He said he should have the video up by Tuesday, and I would basically put it in my channel, and I'll basically broadcast it on Google Plus, so people could check it out. Short version of it is basically it's a good game. It has this couple problems, and there's a couple of problems. Everybody likes open world, but if open world is not used the right way, it kind of sucks. And it can't. And Tales went back into that whole active camera thing, which if you don't give people the control of the camera or something else, it's just gonna suck. But the game itself is pretty solid. The armorization in the battle of fusing people is pretty cool. The story is typical story. It has its annoying characters, but that's JRPGs in typical. But I think it's a solid game. So if you're a PlayStation 3 or 4 or PC, check it out. Check out videos. I would give it, if I would give a number, which I don't really give numbers anyway, but I would give it a 7.5. It's still a solid game. And it looks great, and it has the function of a Tales game, but it has its problems in there. Some are majors, whatever, but it's not a game-breaking problem. I didn't buy the Tales game on Steam off the top because, of course, I didn't want to get into that pre-order bull crap that they did, and I'm not part of that. I speak with my wallet. I bought the game because I like it, but I ain't pre-ordering not because you lock them move sets and all that crap away. No, but good game, solid. Hopefully, like I said, Jay's gonna put it up and check it out. What's going on with that? And next podcast, mostly I will get all the people who want to join in because shout out to Red Fox, Triple M, Anderson Archilla, Tuber, Payday, all those guys. Some of these guys wanted to get on the podcast tonight, but I just wanted to have a one-on-one with Grim just to make sure that there's no confusion because he's been on my podcast a couple of times, and sometimes the shouting gets over each other, and I didn't want that because you go look at the last podcast. Sons of bitches were derailing me every second, and I couldn't stay on topic. Oh my goodness. And also to other people that, I send a link. I don't know how Google Plus sometimes works that way. I send a link to you guys. I don't know how it don't work sometimes, because I send a link and people are like, oh, I didn't get the link. And you look back at the time frame, the timestamp is like, I sent it way before the podcast happened, but I don't know how Google gets out there. And I apologize for how that works out. But other than that, it is what it is. But like I said, hopefully you could check out LBC episode 1. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Agree, disagree. What's your points of contingency? You don't, like I say, I'm not 100% with my with everything. You're not gonna agree with me 100%. I understand that. As long as we have a rational reason to what I say, we can have a good talk about it. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But with everything I always said, you know what? Hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the week that's coming on. Remember, there's no perfect game out there. Why? Because what's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply play your games. Peace out.